Chapter 1070. What do you mean, what's going on? Little Chi's eyes flickered as she spoke vaguely. Come on, all the girls in the school have eyes. Other than you, Yinji has never bothered with anyone else. The school belle chased after him so much and was humiliated by him. Yet you can be his underling. What? Even if he can make you his lackey, what about you? I don't believe that you will be ordered around by him. Yanjin knew that the relationship between the two of them was not ordinary. I'm also thinking about what my relationship with him is. Little Chi's tone was filled with confusion and melancholy. Yanji did dote on her and treated her very well, but every time something happened she had to find out what Yanji was doing from the rumors. What was this? Why was he fighting again? Didn't he promise her that he would fight less? What was it for this time? Yanji is a prodigal son. I believe that while all the girls in the school like him, they also have the ambition to save the prodigal son. This is the naivety of women. They think that a person will change for themselves just because they like another person. Are you the same? After hearing Yanjin's words, Little Chi looked at her in surprise. You're the same age as me. Are you so interested in relationships? Tieske, I have 3 brothers at home. I'm already used to it. Yanjin replied disdainfully and then patted Little Chi's shoulder. The more unpredictable a person is, the more attractive he is. But if he's ordinary, you won't like him either, right? This is what women are like. After Little Chi heard this, she felt that it made sense. She didn't call Yanji, nor did she take the initiative to contact him. Why did a woman's emotions have to chase after a man? Little Chi did like Yanji, but she really didn't like the feeling of her emotions being controlled by others. So she went home coolly. Cheng Hui was a little surprised that Little Chi didn't go on a date with that kid today. Thinking about it, his young mistress should be tired of it. However, at 8 o'clock in the evening, Little Chi received a call. She picked up her backpack and asked Cheng Hui to send her to the hospital. What was he trying to do? Little Chi quickly entered the inpatient department of the school's affiliated hospital and saw Yanji, whose face was bruised and swollen. He was wrapped in gauze and lying on the bed. Around his bed there were a few injured boys sitting there. Little Chi went straight into the ward but was stopped by one of the boys. Where did this little infatuated fool come from? You even chased me all the way to the hospital. Yanji looked up and immediately shouted, Are you blind? That's your sister-in-law. Why aren't you moving? The few of them immediately obeyed the rules and gave their seats to Little Chi. Little Chi walked up to Yanji and immediately poked the back of his red and swollen hand. Why didn't I kill you? It hurts. Leave me some face. Yanji rubbed her palm, signaling her to calm down. The lackeys looked at each other in dismay. They thought to themselves that young master, he was too lucky. He found such a beautiful sister-in-law. He was going to raise his wife from a young age. Get out, get out. They gestured to each other and moved the ward out for the young couple in the room. When Yanji saw this, he couldn't help but look at Little Chi. After a long time he said, Although the method is a little special, your identity as sister-in-law has been introduced. Why are you fighting again? Yanji thought for a moment. As if he had expected her to ask, he rested his head on his pillow and answered, Auntie Hong has a son. Because of his intelligence problems he is always bullied. I received a call from Auntie Hong and rushed over. I saw that the other party was forcing him to drink urine. Do you think I can tolerate it? I thought you would be very angry, but I'm really surprised that you're so calm. Little Chi sat down on the chair and looked at Yanji's face. After pretending, she asked again, With your injury, you won't be able to go to school for many days, right? Little heartless. Don't worry. Even if your husband doesn't study, he can still get first place. Chapter 1071. Of course I have to be calm because in the future there will be more and more of these things. Little Chi frowned. The words that came out of her mouth sounded like a little old woman. I've always known that we're from 2 different worlds. Seeing that she was suddenly so serious, Yanji freed his right hand and held her cheek. T. Don't seduce me and I'm about to escape. No way. Yanji, don't break up with me. It's only been a few days. Yanji quickly covered her lips and warned her. I told you before that I can do anything for you, but I can't change the matter of fighting for you now. I need to protect myself and my family. Little Chi saw that he was aggressive and pursed her lips. I didn't want to break up. I just wanted to say, can you tell those hooligans not to hit me in the face every time? Yanji, why don't you call me next time and I'll go too? Little Chi put down her school bag and took out a plaster from it. I've also trained. It's different from your unorthodox ways. Otherwise, in a few years, I'll have to go to my mother's dissection table to see you. He Yenji, other than winning you also have to not let yourself get hurt in a fight. Do you understand? He didn't panic, but from Little Chi's firecracker-like words, He Yenji could still hear a strong sense of worry. Therefore he reached out and held Little Chi's warm palm. I'm sorry. What's the use of apologizing to me? Little Chi broke free from his palm in disdain. You're the only one who's sorry. Are you still angry? Little Chi ignored him. She stayed with this person until 9 o'clock. When the alarm clock rang, she immediately picked up her school bag and got up from the chair. You rest by yourself. He Yenji watched as Little Chi left. He wanted to reach out and grab her, but there was a strong sense of powerlessness in his palm. Because so what if he caught Little Chi? Could he promise his wife that he would never fight again in the future? The two of them were born in different environments. At his age, other than using force, he had no better way to protect himself and his family. He had an inheritance, an uncountable inheritance, but he couldn't tell anyone. Because he couldn't attract his second uncle's attention. He couldn't let everything about his parents fall into the hands of his enemies. What else could a 13 or 14-year-old boy rely on to protect his loved ones? Before he had wings he only had his fists. After Little Chi walked out of the ward, she leaned against the wall and thought carefully about what she wanted at this moment. She didn't even know what she was so uncomfortable about. But he felt uncomfortable, extremely uncomfortable. When he got home he saw Mu Chichi. Mommy? Mu Chichi caught her daughter and asked, "What's wrong?" I have some questions that I don't understand. Mu Chichi knew that the only person who could make her daughter look like this was that brat. She dragged Little Chi into the room. What happened? Little Chi told Mu Chichi everything that had happened today. I don't know what I'm feeling right now. After Mu Chichi heard this, she couldn't help but laugh. You're afraid? Little fool, because you know that it's wrong for that brat to fight. One day he might pay the price for it and our family's environment might make you two drift apart. Little Chi was speechless. She hit the bullseye. It was only after she fell in love with He Yenji that she developed all kinds of unknown emotions. Chapter 1072. Daughter, I'm really surprised that you can tell mommy all this. I'm also very surprised at how mature you are. You're not like a normal little girl, crying and throwing a tantrum. Mu Chichi patted Little Chi's head. With your mother, there's no solution to this kind of thing. There's only one thing and that's courage. Face whatever you're afraid of. The more afraid you are, the more you have to face it. Although it's wrong for that kid to fight, it's indeed forgivable because that's how he's always lived. In addition, the future of two people doesn't depend on looking at it, but on constantly narrowing the gap between each other and working hard for it. Little Chi listened in a half-hearted manner. In the end, she only asked Mu Chichi one question. What if my dad was the one who got beaten up? Whoever beat up your dad, I'll definitely return it tenfold. Mu Chichi gave Little Chi an answer decisively. If you like someone enough and that person is worth it, then there's nothing you can't bear. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Alright Little Chi, it's time to rest. Mu Chichi did not continue. Her ability to understand emotions was not something that could be stuffed into a person's mind with just a few words. Little Chi also nodded. Thank you, Mommy, for answering my questions. Mu Chichi patted her head again and finally sighed. I hope Mommy isn't harming you by telling you this. Little Chi forced a smile. After Mu Chichi left, she called He Yenji. What do you want to eat tomorrow? After school I'll bring you? Xiaowan. He Yenji received the call and felt very upset. Hurry up and tell me. Little Chi pretended to be impatient. I want to see you now. I'll press you against the wall and kiss you hard. Little Chi said. No way. In the next life. I'll bring you a nutritious meal tomorrow. That's all. I'm hanging up. After saying that, Little Chi decisively put down her phone. It was a relationship that had just begun. Since she had tasted the sweetness, she would naturally taste the bitterness. After hearing Mu Chichi's words, Little Chi thought about it for the whole night. She suddenly understood something. When she fell in love with He Yenji, he was already hopelessly bad. According to her mother, that was He Yenji's way of life. She didn't seem to have the right to dictate He Yenji's lifestyle, even if they were as close as lovers. After thinking it through, Little Chi relaxed a little. In class the next day, although they heard the old witch complaining about He Yenji's leaving class, He Yenji also said that even if he didn't come to class, he would still be first at the end of the term. After school, Little Chi took the thermos to the hospital. When He Yenji saw the person he was thinking about, he couldn't hide the smile on his face. Xiaowan, are you here for me to kiss? You're already like this and you're still not being honest. Little Chi glared at him. After Yenji heard this, he said calmly, "Isn't I the person you like? Good or bad, this is a side of me." Little Chi took out the nutritious meal coldly and placed it in front of him. "Who said I like you? I don't know who it was, but 2 days ago she plunged into my arms and loved me so much." Little Chi didn't say anything. Yenji could tell that she was being awkward, so he took the opportunity to hold her hand and said, "I know what you're worried about, but can you believe that I know what I'm doing? Who told me to not be able to resist your temptation and turn you into my wife? I'll take responsibility." Chapter 1073. Little Chi had been thinking a lot for the past few days, so she was immune to Yenji's teasing. "The final exam is coming up soon. Hurry up and get better. Do you want me to be last again?" "Got it, housekeeper." Yenji took the nutritious meal and couldn't help but laugh. "When I recover, I'll find a small forest and quietly bring you in." Little Chi was speechless. Was this matter very urgent? Was it? In fact, Yenji had kissed Little Chi twice and it had only been a second. She didn't even have time to taste what it was like to kiss. Speaking of which, she had to wait until she was 16 years old, but she asked herself, could she really wait until then? Just like that, Little Chi went to class during the day and fed Yenji with all kinds of nourishing things after school. After a while, Yenji's injuries quickly recovered. During this period of time, the school was also safe and sound. However, without Yenji, the source of evil, the school lost a lot of the fun of gossip. When will Yenji be discharged from the hospital? During lunchtime, Zhen and Little Chi sat in the cafeteria and chatted. "It's been almost half a month." "Soon." Little Chi sighed. In fact, after Yenji was hospitalized for a week, he had been clamoring to leave the hospital. However, Little Chi had forcefully held him down and asked the doctor to do a comprehensive examination on him. He found that the new and old injuries on his body had been alternating and had never healed. Therefore, Little Chi ordered Yenji to leave only after the doctor confirmed that he could be discharged from the hospital. Yenji was already feeling guilty about the fight. Now that he was being controlled by his wife, he did not struggle and went along with Little Chi's wishes. Does Yenji really have many girlfriends? Little Chi knew that Zhen had a lot of questions, so she put down her bowl and chopsticks and answered her seriously. "They're all rumors. So far, I'm the only serious girlfriend he has. Moreover, the first time he held hands, hugged and kissed was all mine. That person likes to disguise himself as a bad person." After Zhen heard this, she nodded in disbelief. "I didn't expect Yenji to be so innocent. How did you win him over?" "Of course it's because my wife has an interesting soul." The voice that suddenly appeared above their heads made them both stunned at the same time. This person appeared and disappeared mysteriously. Was he trying to scare them to death? Little Chi tilted her head and saw Yenji's handsome face. She glared at him. "Why did you leave the hospital without permission?" "I'm going to rot." Yenji looked at Little Chi pitifully. Zhen couldn't help but shiver. She had goosebumps all over her body. As expected of a person in love. It was an eye-opener for her. Yenji was such a cold and evil person, but in front of Little Chi, he had such a devoid of love expression. Zhen instantly felt that her worldview had been overturned. The three of them finished lunch together in the cafeteria, and Yenji announced his official return to school life. Little Chi saw that he was full of energy in physical education class in the afternoon and finally felt relieved. This person's recovery ability was indeed different from ordinary people. However, just as the first class of the evening self-study session ended, Yenji sent a text message to Little Chi, asking her to go to the garden. Little Chi suddenly remembered what Yenji had said some time ago. He wanted to drag her into the woods and kiss her to his heart's content. Chapter 1074. When Little Chi entered the forest, there was not even a shadow. This was because there was a certain distance from the teaching building of the junior high school department. During the 10-minute break between classes, especially at night, no one came to stroll around. Little Chi thought that Yenji was playing with her. Just as she was about to make a phone call, a hand suddenly reached out from the tree beside her and pulled her over. Little Chi was forced to lean against the tree while Yenji looked at her sideways with his arm propped up. "Don't get so close to me." Little Chi was a little panicked. Yenji couldn't help but laugh. "You're usually so eloquent, but when it comes to times like this, you're so timid. It's so late at night. Who knows why you called me over?" Little Chi lay on his arm and muttered. "What else can I do? Of course it's a kiss." Before he could finish his sentence, a light suddenly lit up in the forest. Yenji quickly pulled Little Chi into his arms, pressed her head, and hid her face so that no one could see it. A student passed by and heard the commotion. He thought that something had happened and turned on the flashlight on his phone fearlessly. However, Yinji scolded him, "Are you looking for a beating?" When the other party saw that Yinji was actually hugging a girl, his hands trembled in fear and he quickly turned off the flashlight. Oh my god. Previously, there had been rumors in the school that Yinji had gotten a girl pregnant. After all, no one had really seen it. But this time, someone had seen Yinji hugging a girl with their own eyes. No one knew who it was. After the boy left, little Chi immediately said in a muffled voice, "The whole school is going to be talking about it again. It's all your fault. You made me come to the forest." Yinji let go of little Chi and smiled slightly. "There are a lot of rumors about your husband. Besides, I'm hugging my wife. Who would dare to say anything?" "Then should we go back now?" Little Chi asked again. "You go first. I'll be back later." Yinji pushed little Chi out. The night covered little Chi's hot cheeks. She suppressed her wildly beating heart and walked out of the forest. It was not for anything else, but because Yinji's subconscious action to protect her just now made her smile uncontrollably. Soon Yinji also returned to the classroom. The two of them acted as if nothing had happened and finally waited until school was over. "I haven't seen my dad for a few days. I won't go home with you tonight." When little Chi left the school, she texted Yinji, "Okay, be careful on the road." Yinji rode on the motorcycle and looked at his empty back seat. This little girl must have deliberately left to avoid suspicion. It seemed that the small forest was really dangerous and exciting. As expected, the next day at school, the whole school knew about Yinji hugging a girl in the garden. The boys were jealous and the girls were envious. He didn't know which girl was so lucky to attract Yinji's attention. One had to know that Yinji was not even willing to give the role of the school belle to play with. Yinjin heard the rumors and asked little Chi before class started, "Did you know that Yinji was caught hugging a girl yesterday? Can you not mention this?" Little Chi blushed. Yinjin laughed when she saw that. "Did you go into the woods yesterday? How audacious. Who knew that place would be so dangerous?" Little Chi coughed lightly. "By the way, you and Yinji, how far have you progressed?" Chapter 1075. Hawk. Kiss. Little Chi immediately covered Yinjin's mouth. "Keep your voice down, then tell me," Yinjin asked. After all, who could resist the temptation of such gossip? "Just kiss, hug and raise me high," Little Chi summarized concisely. Little Chi concluded concisely. "It's not what you think between us. We're very well behaved, okay?" Yinji really doesn't seem like a person who follows the rules. "That's because you don't understand him," Little Chi replied in her heart. There were not many people in this world who could truly understand Yinji. Of course, he didn't care what others thought of him. The two of them gossiped for a long time, but until the first class, Little Chi still didn't see Yinji. He was fine yesterday, but she didn't know what he was doing today. Little Chi took out her phone to call Yinji, but his phone was turned off. Thinking of what he had said about Auntie Hong's son, could it be that the other party knew that he had recovered and was discharged from the hospital, so he came to seek revenge? Thinking of this possibility, Little Chi's heart was a little confused. If she had known, she would have left Auntie Hong's phone number. That way, she would be able to know Yinji's situation at any time. Finally, school was over. Little Chi immediately carried her school bag and went to Yinji's house. However, his door was tightly shut. She didn't know where Auntie Hong and Grandma he had gone. Thinking of this, Little Chi went to the billiard hall again. When the owner of the billiard hall saw Little Chi, he hurriedly came up and said, "Grandaunt, why are you here all of a sudden? Can't I come? Is Yinji here?" Little Chi asked straightforwardly. "You're just a little girl. Don't worry about these things. Go home and rest." How could the owner of the billiard hall dare to tell Little Chi the truth? Looking at the owner's expression, he did know where Yinji was now. "Tell me. I have bodyguards to protect me. Maybe I can help him." Little Chi showed Ching Hui to the boss. The boss deliberated for a moment and finally told Mu Chi, "Last time, young master, he saved someone. He offended a popular person in the underworld. That big brother named him to make young master he suffer. Now the two sides are arranged to fight. It's behind this mountain." After Little Chi heard this, she turned to look at Cheng Hui. "Let's go." "Miss, what are you afraid of?" Little Chi's tone was calm. She looked exactly the same as her father. They both had a fearless temper. Soon Little Chi and Cheng Hui rushed to the back mountain and saw that it was filled with people fighting. Yinji was among them. His methods were wild and ruthless. He did not give his opponent a chance at all. However, Yinji only brought 5 people with him, and the other party had more than 20 people. They were outnumbered. After a long time, Yenji and the others were at a disadvantage. Uncle Hui, you pick 10, I'll pick 5. Sure, Cheng Hui answered in a heroic tone. But if you ask, push it to me, Little Chi said bluntly. Yenji quickly saw Little Chi's figure and frowned. Yenji's lackey also said, Young Master isn't that sister-in-law? Why are you causing trouble at this time? Who told you that she's here to cause trouble? Yenji covered his arm and looked at the little girl not far away. In the next second, Little Chi used her agility that surprised everyone present to throw a 17 or 18-year-old youth to the ground. Chapter 1076. Wow! Yenji's companions were so surprised that their eyeballs almost fell out. As expected of my wife. Yenji suddenly became energetic. With Little Chi and Cheng Hui joining the battlefield, the 20 or so people were soon beaten to a pulp. Seeing a group of people sitting on the ground and wailing, Little Chi immediately grabbed one of her lackeys and warned, If you're still not convinced, come to the Xing family to settle the score. I'll get the martial arts champion behind me to brainwash you. An 11 or 12-year-old little girl had actually learned her father's aura to the fullest. Perhaps it was because of his defensive awareness in a moment of desperation. The man who was being pulled by Little Chi took out a dagger from his ankle and slashed at Little Chi's neck. When Yenji saw this, he immediately blocked it. The sharp blade immediately cut Yenji's arm, revealing a hideous bloody wound. Little Chi held Yenji's arm and slapped the man in the face. The force was so heavy that the man fainted. This was the skill of a martial artist. When the others saw that Little Chi was angry and that she was a member of the Sheng family, they immediately felt fear. The leader of the gangsters immediately led his lackeys away as if they were running for their lives. The battlefield was quickly cleaned up. When Yenji saw this scene, he threw away the wooden stick in his hand and really experienced a hero saving a damsel in distress. However, he was the one who was saved. Sister-in-law is so cool. Young Master why didn't you say so earlier? That's right. She's too cool. She's a hero among women. I didn't expect sister-in-law to save us in the end. Young Master devote yourself to her and thank her on our behalf. The few of them chattered non-stop in Yenji's ears. At this moment, Little Chi straightened her body and glared at Yenji. I can react. Who asked you to block it? Yenji covered his arm and looked at his wife. The corners of his mouth curled up. I believe that you can block it, but this is a natural reaction of my body. It's exactly the same as when I want to kiss you. I can't control it either. Little Chi was speechless. Soon they left the battlefield. Along the way, Yenji's companions kept clamoring to learn orthodox combat techniques from Cheng Hui. In the end, they were thrown back to their respective homes by Yenji. When there were only 3 people left in the car, Yenji suddenly said to Little Chi, Put me by the beach. This will scare Grandma. Actually, the wound isn't deep. Little Chi looked at his bloody arm and turned to Cheng Hui. Uncle Hui, find a small clinic. Yes, Mississippi. Yenji knew that Little Chi was still sulking, so he didn't struggle anymore. Yesterday you were fighting with people from school. Now you're fighting with gangsters. In a few days you might be dead on the streets. Little Chi raised his arm to disinfect it as she muttered, Must we take this path? Yenji sat on the simple bed with one leg and looked down at Little Chi, who was burying her head. I have no choice, Xiaowan. I used to be polite. Even if I was willing to be humble, the other party wouldn't let me go. All these years I've been walking between bullying and being bullied. I'm already used to it. Why? Little Chi didn't understand why these people were so keen on finding trouble with him. Yenji paused for a moment. Finally, he lowered his head and laughed at himself. Because I have a second uncle who can't wait for me to die on the streets? Yenji only said half of what he said, and Little Chi only listened to half of it. She had no intention of revealing other people's scars. I've been trying my best to endure it, until I reach adulthood. Chapter 1077. The birth of some people meant that they were destined not to be able to live like ordinary people. Yenji looked at Little Chi with a complicated expression. This was the most serious expression Little Chi had ever seen on Yenji. Little Chi did not say anything. At this moment, Yenji suddenly leaned over and kissed Little Chi on the lips. Treat it as a painkiller? Little Chi raised her head without any thoughts. I don't know how to treat you now. I'll hire a bodyguard for you and bring you into the Xing family's sphere of influence. You definitely won't want to, but I can't just stand by and watch. I'm not good or bad to you. Yenji looked at Little Chi's complicated expression and suddenly pulled her into his arms. Just like this, it's very good. With a hug, little Chi could no longer speak. I'm with you because I want you to be happy. If you're with me and there's only heaviness left, then I will be the one who doesn't know what to do. Do you know? Silly girl. Yenji took the opportunity to rub little Chi's head. I don't want you to always get hurt. I know. I'll solve this matter, Yenji promised her. Little Chi still wanted to ask him how he could guarantee it, but Yenji suddenly put his finger on little Chi's lips. Sho, are you some little old woman? Little Chi raised her fist and hammered his chest. I don't care about you anymore. She was at loggerheads again. Yenji smiled as he watched little Chi leave the clinic. She was just too cute and didn't know it. But soon he put away his playful expression and took out his phone to call Auntie Hong. He asked her to comfort his grandmother that he was going to do something that night. Then he went to the billiard hall and asked the very popular curator to contact the big brother in the underworld for him. Young master, are you really going to meet him? You have to know that this is not a small fight. Something goes wrong. The curator was a little worried. After all, that was a gangster who would really eat people, not an ordinary primary school student playing around. Boss, just make the appointment for me. Yenji's tone was very calm, as if he had made a lot of preparations. The boss shook his head and could only compromise. I can't do anything to you. I can't do anything to her. Yenji sat on the billiard table and said to himself, forget it, I've indeed been muddle-headed in the past, always thinking that tomorrow will be the same. Why should I care who I offended today? But now that he was with Xiaowan, he actually fantasized that he was just an ordinary student and had a sweet campus relationship with the little girl. After little Chi returned home, she locked herself in her room, not knowing what to do. She was afraid that one day Yenji would really die on the streets. He wouldn't even have the chance to say goodbye to her. She couldn't imagine what kind of hell Yenji was living in. She only knew that the more she thought about it, the more she couldn't let him go. Master Xiao found out from Qing Hui what had happened in school that day. No, it should be said that little Chi had fought. However, he did not show any displeasure. Qing Hui was a little surprised. If it were any other parent, they would have torn Yenji apart long ago, but Xing Xiao did not. He directly called little Chi into the study. The father and daughter had a heart-to-heart talk again. Dad, I know what you want to ask, but Dad can't give you an answer. However, I have a feeling that that kid has the ability to deal with things, Master Xiao answered without changing his expression. Chapter 1078. The owner of the billiard hall made an appointment for Yenji. The other party directly asked Yenji to meet him at the largest nightclub in Jianchuan, the Imperial Court. That was naturally not a good place. Jianchuan was famous for being chaotic. Yenji got the other party's number, thanked the boss and turned to go home. The owner of the billiard hall could not bear it, but he still grabbed Yenji's arm and said softly, if there's anything, just call me. Don't worry. Yenji smiled and quickly disappeared into the darkness. Why could Yenji be the king here? Because in the past 2 years, Yenji had fought many times for the boss. Those who were dishonest, those who found trouble on credit, and those who had bullied the boss were all beaten up by Yenji. Therefore, in the boss's heart, he was like a younger brother. He did not know if helping him this time was the right thing to do. With his injuries, Yenji went to a friend's house to change into a set of black clothes. It was clearly a very ordinary shirt, but when Yenji wore it, it gave off a very noble aura. If he wanted to go to a nightclub, he naturally had to dress up mature. At least, no one could tell that he was still underage. Young master, you used to be the young master of a rich family, right? No matter how I look at you, you're different from ordinary people like us. Yenji patted the other party's head and smiled. The Princess of England is my aunt. Do you believe it? The other party shook his head. I don't believe it either. After tilting his head, Yenji went out with his injuries and rode his motorcycle to the largest nightclub in Jianchuan. At this moment, the nightclub was bustling with noise. Yenji stopped the motorcycle and went straight to the front desk. I'm looking for Brother Nan. The other party glanced at Yenji and shook his head. I'm sorry, sir. If you don't have an appointment? After Yenji heard this, he took out his gold card and said to the two of them, give me a bottle of Lafite and treat your Brother Nan. Is that okay? The two receptionists looked at each other, but they were used to the world and did not dare to offend him. They invited Yenji to the VIP room and then went to ask for the so-called Brother Nan. After a while, a man in a suit arrived at the VIP room with 2 bodyguards. When he saw Yenji, he could not help but laugh. I didn't expect a kid like you to really dare to come. Do you know where this is? Kid, how dare you call me Lafite? Who gave you the guts? Brother Nan, can you write off your little brother's matter? Yenji took the opportunity to state his purpose for coming. Kid, do you know who you're talking to? I'll beat you up if I want to. The man laughed so hard that his shoulders were shaking. For a second he even felt like he was bullying a little kid. Brother Yang has 3 fierce generals in his hands. Over the years, the people in the underworld have been terrified of him. However, gradually, there has been a rift between Brother Nan and his other brothers. Because of his straightforward personality, he always suffers losses in front of Brother Yang. The other 2 big shots are now rising in power. Only you are hiding in the imperial court. Are you willing to do that? After hearing Yenji's words, the other party was stunned. She looked at Yenji in surprise. How do you know about our internal strife? Who are you? I'm just a hooligan. If Brother Nan is willing to give me peace and let the previous matter be written off, I'm willing to offer my plan and let Brother Nan vent his anger in front of Brother Yang. Yenji was extraordinarily calm. He was clearly only a teenager, but the words he said were full of temptation. People could not help but want to believe him. Chapter 1079. You mean you want me to listen to you? Brother Nan pointed at his nose and smiled disdainfully. You'd better wash up and go home to sleep. You haven't even grown your hair yet. I know that you've been fighting for the territory in the east of the city recently, and you've already fought several times. I have a solution here. It's written in your nightclub's suggestion book. If you're interested, you can go take a look. After saying that, Yenji got up from the scarlet sofa. If the solution works, contact me again. Do you want to write off the previous matter? The other party obviously didn't believe him, but his eyes couldn't help but look at the coffee table. With just a glance, the person called Brother Nan said to his subordinate, "Go and drag that kid back." Of course, Yenji couldn't go far because he expected the other party to pull him back. His attitude was completely different from before. At this moment, Brother Nan welcomed him with a smile. I really didn't expect you to have such courage and boldness at such a young age. I promise you, as long as I can win, not to mention writing off the previous debt, I can give you whatever you want. What did Yenji want? It was just peace. He didn't want to be covered in injuries and cause trouble. Half an hour later, Yenji came out of the imperial court. Brother Nan personally sent him off. It could be seen that Brother Nan was very satisfied with Yenji's solution. Brother Nan, do you really believe this kid? The subordinate couldn't help but ask when he saw how familiar Brother Nan was. What do you know? This kid is simply a prodigy. Pass down the order. In the future, whoever sees this kid has to be respectful. Little Chi was worried for most of the night because she really didn't know if Yenji's so-called he would deal with it, was just taking a knife to someone else's territory to fight. Therefore, in the middle of the night, she couldn't help but call Yenji. A moment later, Yenji picked up the phone and smiled happily. Xiaowan, you always have a way to call me when I'm bathing. It's good that you're alive. Little Chi heard his annoying voice and hung up the phone in annoyance. Yenji looked blankly at the phone that was beeping. His expression was doting and helpless. He was clearly worried. The next day, Little Chi arrived at school early in the morning and found that Yenji was already sleeping soundly on the table as usual. It seemed that he was really fine. Little Chi quietly sat down beside him, but the next second, her right hand was grabbed by someone under the table. Let go, the old witch is here. Little Chi struggled. Yenji squeezed a few more times before letting go in satisfaction. Little Chi stared at the person lying on the ground and asked in a low voice, "Has the matter really been resolved? From now on, I'll accompany you shopping and watching movies. There won't be any more trouble." Yenji propped himself up and answered her seriously. Little Chi didn't know what methods he had used, but she knew that Yenji didn't like to go back on his word. Teach me how to ride a motorcycle first. Little Chi immediately turned into a wild girlfriend and ordered fiercely, also, you must get first place in the final exam. Yenji made a gesture of obedience. Yes, my lord. Little Chi looked at Yenji's expression and was still faintly worried. What had he paid for this piece? Even if she was his girlfriend, there were still so many secrets hidden in Yenji's heart. Chapter 1080. 3 days later, Brother Nan called Yenji. He hadn't been as happy as he was now for several years because Yenji's plan was really effective. It allowed him to hold his head high in front of Brother Yang for once. Brother Nan asked Yenji what he wanted. When the big boss was in a good mood, he wanted to give him something. However, Yenji rejected Brother Nan's good intentions. He only asked Brother Nan to ensure the peace of their family and keep his identity a secret. In exchange, Yenji could offer his plan to the big boss from time to time. Little He, how about this? I'll send someone to send you a black card. In the future, as long as you're in my territory, all your expenses will be on me. He Yenji leaned against the motorcycle with a slightly helpless expression. Okay. Then it's a deal. He Yenji hung up the phone and looked at little Chi, who was not far away. She was riding the motorcycle in a dignified manner. A moment later, she returned to his side excitedly. I'm a fast learner, right? He Yenji looked at the motorcycle she had put down. It was a second-hand product that the curator did not use. Seeing that her body was covered in oil stains, He Yenji pulled her onto the back seat of the motorcycle and reminded her calmly, "Sit tight. Where are we going?" Little Chi quickly held his shoulder and asked, "I'm going to buy you something you like." After saying that, He Yenji sped up and brought Little Chi to the Forest motorcycle shop. When they arrived at the entrance of the shop, Little Chi immediately grabbed He Yenji's arm and said, "There's no need." He Yenji laughed. Then he held Little Chi's palm and said, "I just want to change to a comfortable back seat. What are you thinking?" Little Chi was speechless. She thought that this bastard was going to bring her to buy a new motorcycle. "Are you messing with me?" He Yenji's lips curled into a beautiful arc and he explained, "I don't know that you don't want to have anything to do with money. You're afraid that your rich identity will hurt my self-esteem. However, you really don't have to be so sensitive. Although your husband isn't the richest man in Jianchuan, he's not poor either. Moreover, at your age I'll at most give you summer homework. Do you think I'll give you a motorcycle?" Little Chi's face couldn't help but turn red. She was always teased by this bastard. "And the real reason why I didn't buy it for you is because if you have your own motorcycle, who's going to hold my waist? Let's go in and find a place to rest. I'll ask the boss to modify it." Little Chi went to the rest area of the shop in a bad mood and sat down on the sofa casually. "Seriously, you look so good even when you're angry." He Yenji took off his gloves and asked the boss, "Does the shop have Kumduk 390? "We're out of stock." The boss shook his head. "It doesn't matter. I'm not in a hurry. Let me know when the goods arrive," He Yenji said in a low voice. "Give your sister away? Could she ride it? It's still so young." The boss glanced at Little Chi and frowned at He Yenji. "Book it." He Yenji didn't care. When it was her birthday or other good days, he would take it out and give it to her. "Sure, leave me your contact address later. I'll inform you when the goods arrive." He Yenji nodded slightly. Without waiting for Ming Chi to know, he left the address of the tiny banyan courtyard. He imagined that one day the little girl would ride a brand new motorcycle and go cross-country with him in the mountains. That feeling would definitely be wonderful. In just an hour, the boss of the forest shop had indeed given He Yenji a more comfortable back seat. After the two of them played for an entire day, the sky gradually darkened. "Let's go. I'll send you home." Little Chi sat on the new cushion. Her butt was indeed much more comfortable, but she still did not forget to hug He Yenji's waist tightly. However, before getting out of the car, Little Chi threw out a bomb. "Do you want to go to my house for dinner?" Chapter 1081. He Yenji stopped the motorcycle and turned his head slightly. He looked at Little Chi with a faint smile. "Are you in a hurry to see your parents?" "Auntie Hong called me and said that there's no one at home." Little Chi snorted disdainfully. After He Yenji was seriously injured, she had asked Auntie Hong for her phone number. However, she knew in her heart that it was a little abrupt to ask, so she added, "It's okay if you don't go." He Yenji chuckled and did not answer. When they reached the entrance of the banyan courtyard, he turned to Little Chi and said, "Let's wait until I have the confidence to meet your parents." Iske, who cares? Actually, Little Chi had already expected this. Go back and rest early. Don't wander around. He Yenji really wanted to drag her into a small alley and kiss her to her heart's content. However, this was the territory of the Shen and Xing families. If he was not careful, he would be poked into a hornet's nest by the two families. It was better to wait until the dead of night when there was no one around to do these naughty plans. The two of them said goodbye at the door. After seeing Little Chi return home with his own eyes, He Yenji returned home. However, when he opened the door, he realized that something did not seem right at home. A few rooms had been turned upside down, but nothing was missing. The thief who came in was quite unlucky because there was nothing in his house. He Yenji quickly forgot about this matter. Soon it was time for the final exam. He Yenji promised Little Chi that as long as she could maintain her second place, he would take her out to play for a few days during the summer vacation. Little Chi was filled with joy when she agreed. After all, she was already used to big scenes. Now she was very interested in the things He Yenji took her to play. However, would Master Xiao and her mother have any objections if she wanted to go out for a few days? This was the Sheng family's treasure. Although little Chi was free, she had never left her parents' side. Now He Yanji wanted to take their daughter away? Even little Chi herself couldn't tell her father about this. She definitely couldn't lie, but she couldn't tell the truth. She was going out to play with a boy, especially with He Yanji. However, a week after the exam, He Yanji took little Chi away. That night, the two of them had just received their results. He Yanji rode his motorcycle to the banyan courtyard and called little Chi. "Come out, I'll take you to play." Little Chi greeted Mama Sheng and went out. Unexpectedly, He Yanji took her on a motorcycle for 3 hours. Seeing that the place was getting more and more remote, little Chi's heart was pounding. "Where are you taking me?" "Sell it for a good price," He Yanji said loudly. "Stop teasing me, I'm scared." Little Chi pinched the flesh on his waist and said, "Let's go to Aunt Hong's hometown. I'll take you to the countryside to be a wild child, a mountain king." "But my parents, have you ever seen a bad guy kidnap someone? Do you have to tell them beforehand?" He Yanji laughed loudly. Little Chi's face turned pale. This was the first time she had been scared by him. When they arrived at their destination, little Chi got out of the car and kicked his foot. "Send me back. My mother can't take it anymore." He Yanji took the opportunity to hook his arm around her neck and became serious. "I've asked your father. Otherwise, would I dare to kidnap Master Zhao's daughter? I don't believe it." Little Chi continued to struggle. He Yanji was helpless. He took out his phone and handed it to little Chi. "Here, call him yourself." Little Chi took the phone and looked surprised. "You talked to my dad on the phone?" Chapter 1082. Before He Yanji could answer, little Chi had already seen Cheng Hui waving at her from the field. This person had arrived earlier and was followed by a group of little kids. With Cheng Hui around, little Chi believed that unless Master Xiao gave the order, He Yanji would not be able to take her away. Therefore she returned the phone to He Yanji. She was still very curious about what He Yanji had said to Master Xiao and how the two of them had communicated. However, He Yanji's expression was mysterious. It seemed that he did not intend to tell little Chi this little story. As a man, he naturally had to be open and aboveboard. He Yanji had long seen through Master Zhao's character, so on the night before the results came out, he waited outside Zhongting. He did not ask the front desk to inform him and waited at the door for 2 hours. It was not until he saw Master Zhao's car coming out of Zhongting that he went forward and bowed. Master Xiao rolled down the window and his eyes were sharp. "What's the matter?" "Tomorrow I want to take Xiao Wan to the village for a few days. I hope I can get your permission." Xing Xiao did not say anything. He looked He Yanji up and down. 2 seconds later he said, "Approved." Then he rolled up the window. "President, why do you indulge this child so much?" Su Che asked as he drove. He was really puzzled. "Because he has restraint that most adults don't have," Xing Xiao replied indifferently. "If it were any other 14-year-old child, it would be fine if he kidnapped your daughter. It would be fine if he just explained that he was playing. It was more likely that he would evade and shirk responsibility." However, He Yanji came directly to Xing Xiao and waited downstairs for 2 hours. He did not deliberately disturb him and waited patiently for his prey. Master Xiao felt that there was no need for him to worry about his daughter's safety. He Yanji did this because he could bear all the responsibility. After that, Xing Xiao asked Cheng Hui to help little Chi pack her things and settle her down in advance. He also asked Cheng Hui to pass his number to He Yanji. His daughter was indeed used to seeing pearls and diamonds outside, but she did not have the chance to experience the simplicity of the countryside. To her, this was indeed a rare experience. "Young master, you really brought Miss Xing here. There's nothing good here." Auntie Hong was a little troubled. Auntie Hong's house was a very simple courtyard located on a lake. Little Chi had never seen these things before, so it was naturally very fresh. "Auntie Hong, she eats whatever we eat. She's not that spoiled." He Yanji put down his luggage and looked at his grandmother. "Grandma, do you like this?" Grandma, he nodded, waving the palm leaf fan in her hand. She was very satisfied. "This place is more comfortable than the big city, with green mountains and clear waters, far away from the hustle and bustle. I've decided to move here with Aunt Hong." Actually, He Yanji had the same intention. He would spend some money to renovate this place and then find a few people to guard the house. It was a good place to retire. However, he would not be able to see his only family often. "I know why you asked Auntie Hong to bring me here. Now that you're getting older, your second uncle will definitely find all sorts of ways to make trouble for you. Grandma understands that you'll feel uneasy with me around." "Grandma, I will bring Xiao Wan back to visit you often," He Yanji said to Grandma as he looked at little Chi, who was fishing in the distance. Xiaowan is really a handsome child. Grandma, he looked at little Chi on the other side of the river and beamed. If I work hard, I might be able to wait until you guys get married. Go accompany Xiaowan. Chapter 1083. At this moment, little Chi was focused on Cheng Hui fishing. Uncle Hui, it seems like you like this kind of rural life very much. Of course. Your Uncle Hui was also a wild child who grew up by the river. Cheng Hui was very happy fishing. He really didn't know if he was here to protect little Chi or if he was here for a vacation. Little Chi waited for a long time. Seeing that the fish hadn't taken the bait, she got up and looked for He Yanji. She found that he was actually taking off his clothes in the room. Pervert. Little Chi quickly covered her eyes, but He Yanji grabbed her and pressed her against the wall. Is this the first day you know that I'm bad? Little Chi's ears instantly turned red and she tilted her head. Why are you taking off your clothes in broad daylight? Of course, to bully you. He Yanji took the opportunity to kiss her forehead and then held her hand. Don't be nervous. Grandma's ring fell into the water. I'm just going to fish it up for her. You only know how to tease me all day long. Little Chi was angry and wanted to bite He Yanji's arm. What a little tigress. He Yanji endured the pain and rubbed little Chi's hair. After she vented, he asked, Do you like it here? You can barbecue here at night and you can lie on the chair and watch the moon. What else can I do? I can also kiss you secretly. He Yanji teased little Chi for a while. Then he swaggered to the lake, leaving little Chi alone with a flushed face. After a quarter of an hour, little Chi calmed down and returned to the courtyard. She found that the courtyard was filled with laughter. He Yanji had already fished out Grandma's ring and was fiddling with his hair. Xiaowan, come here. He Yanji sat on a stool and shouted at little Chi. Little Chi glared at him, but she still walked to his side and naturally took the towel. She stood behind him and dried his hair. You really have the potential to be a good wife and mother. Little Chi covered his head with the towel and rubbed it fiercely. You bully me. Not far away, Cheng Hui had fished up dinner for a few people. Soon, only little Chi and He Yanji were left in the huge courtyard. Do you like it here? Little Chi tilted her head and looked at He Yanji. However, his messy hair did not damage his noble aura. Fighting all the time, I rarely enjoy peace like this. He Yanji chuckled. The children who grew up here don't have any ulterior motives. They're very simple and happy. How about it? Do you like it? Little Chi nodded. It's very fresh. The air here seems sweet. That's because I'm here, my wife. He Yanji laughed heartily. I'll take you to experience farm work tomorrow. She didn't know why, but every day with He Yanji seemed to be full of novelty and anticipation. That night, little Chi slept in a room alone, while He Yanji and Uncle Cheng slept in the same room. However, before midnight, little Chi heard a knock on the door. Little Chi carefully got up and opened the door. Then He Yanji pressed her against the door. You're very bold, aren't you? How dare you open the door? Why didn't Uncle Hui break your legs? Little Chi pouted. Let's go, I'll take you out to sleep. Little Chi's heart instantly raced. Could it be He Yanji? As it turned out, she was overthinking because He Yanji had set up a camping tent in the yard. Then, He Yanji pointed at the tent and said to little Chi, Sleep inside tonight and watch the sunrise tomorrow morning. What about you? Little Chi asked as she got into the tent. What do you think? He Yanji asked naughtily. Chapter 1084. I said you won't come in at all. After getting to know him for the past few days, little Chi was confident that He Yanji only liked to take advantage of her with his mouth, but he didn't have any dirty thoughts in his mind. He Yanji chuckled and covered little Chi's head with the blanket on the rocking chair. He hugged her head and kissed it hard. Then he said, It's your first time in the wilderness. It's inevitable that you'll be scared. I'll keep watch for you. As expected. Little Chi took off the blanket on her head and curled up in the tent to sleep peacefully. The young man outside the door sat on the rocking chair with a cattail leaf fan and chased away the mosquitoes for most of the night. Actually, He Yanji had too many things he wanted to do to little Chi, but it wasn't time yet. Even kissing and hugging her sometimes felt like a kind of blasphemy. Life in the countryside was very pleasant. Little Chi and He Yanji stayed in the small courtyard for 3 whole days. In these 3 days, little Chi had seen what it meant to be truly natural and simple. Moreover, she could now accurately distinguish the 5 grains and miscellaneous grains. The morning they returned to Jianchuan, He Yanji rode his motorcycle and said goodbye to Grandma He with little Chi. This was because from today onwards, He Yanji was prepared to face the storms of Jianchuan alone. During the holidays He worked part-time in a bookstore. When he was resting he would ride his motorcycle off-road in the mountains with little Chi. That year's summer vacation was little Chi's happiest days. Soon Jianchuan High School welcomed the start of the new semester. Little Chi and He had agreed to report to the school one after another. However, in the 2 days of school little Chi did not see He. She had called He but he did not answer. Instead, he replied to a text message and said that he was visiting his grandmother in the village. Since that was the case, little Chi did not ask further. However, on the day of school little Chi still did not see He. Therefore little Chi had been absent-minded the whole day. When Yanjun saw that, she took the opportunity to ask her after class, "Where's He?" Little Chi shook her head in confusion. In fact, she had a premonition that every time He disappeared without saying goodbye, he was in trouble. What about this time? Isn't he your boyfriend? You're not contacting him? Little Chi couldn't answer anything. She had been so happy during this period of time that her vigilance had deteriorated. It had been a long time since He had fought. Little Chi was touched by Yanjun's question, so she didn't wait for school to end. On the first day of school she left early and went to He's house, but it was empty. Little Chi called Cheng Hui again and asked him to send her to the countryside. However, Cheng Hui, who had always doted on her, did not agree this time. "Miss, school has already started. Master Xiao told me not to take you away from Jianchuan." "What?" Little Chi asked Cheng Hui. The more Xing Xiao was like this, the more she felt that something was wrong. Suddenly she panicked. "Miss, you should listen to Master Zhao's arrangements." Little Chi was not the kind of child who was obedient. In fact, she had her own opinions on some things. She went straight to the billiard hall and asked the owner to borrow his old motorcycle. Relying on her memory, she rode to Aunt Hong's hometown. After 3 whole hours, she entered the familiar village. However, the small courtyard that was originally built on the lake had already been reduced to ashes. Chapter 1085. Little Chi found it unbelievable. She quickly grabbed the nearby neighbor and asked, "Auntie? Where's that family?" The plump auntie glanced at little Chi and quickly shook her head. She sighed. A few days ago a few men came. They stabbed Xiao Hong and burned the house. The fire burned for a day and a night before it stopped. I wonder if old madam he has also turned into ashes." "Have you seen He?" The auntie shook her head. "I saw him once the day before yesterday. It was very hurried and I haven't seen him since." Little Chi was stunned on the spot. At this moment, her emotions were extremely complicated. She felt that she would never see He again, but she also felt that He would definitely contact her again. It was just that it was not safe now. Little Chi squatted on the ground and dialed He's number over and over again. However, the system kept reminding her that the number she had dialed was no longer in the service area. Little Chi squatted on the old side of the courtyard for most of the day. It was not until late at night that Cheng Hui drove over to pick her up. "Miss, let's go home." Little Chi raised her head in a sorry state and asked Cheng Hui, "Did you already know?" "I only got the news early in the morning," Cheng Hui answered Little Chi seriously. "Miss, it's the gang seeking revenge. He's whereabouts are unknown. Master Xiao has already sent people to look for him, but there's no sign of him. During this period of time he hasn't provoked anyone from the gang. Only that brat knows the answer to this question." Cheng Hui helped Little Chi up. "If you don't want madam to worry, come back with me." Little Chi really wanted to stay here and wait because she had a strong premonition that after leaving this place, she would never see He again. She really wanted to know what kind of situation He was in now. Was Grandma He okay? However, she also knew that if she stayed here, her family would only worry. "Uncle Hui, I rarely beg you, but this time, I beg you to do your best to find out about Grandma He for me. I want to know if Grandma He is still safe. She's He's only family in the world. If Grandma He is gone, I don't know how he will live." Cheng Hui looked into Little Chi's eyes and nodded solemnly. "Miss, don't worry. Even if you don't say it, Master Xiao will do it." Little Chi didn't say anything else and walked straight to her car. Before she left, she took a look at the ruins. For some reason she felt that once she left, the string in her heart would be broken. After returning to Jianchuan, Little Chi did not go to school for 3 days in a row. She searched the streets and alleys of Jianchuan for the person called He, but there was no news of him. He disappeared very cleanly as if he had never appeared. If it weren't for the bracelet on her hand, Little Chi would have really thought that she was having a romantic dream. 3 days later, someone sent a motorcycle home. Little Chi recognized this brand. She and He had been there before. So when she saw the owner, she grabbed his and asked, "T?" When I said she, he, shao, zhao's, he, she, chi, he, and said he, and said, he, and said. Looking at the brand new motorcycle, Little Chi's heart surged. She slowly squatted on the ground and muttered to herself, "I don't ask you to show up. I just want to know if you're alive." Looking at the brand new motorcycle, Little Chi's heart surged wildly. She slowly squatted on the ground and muttered to herself, "I don't ask you to show up. I just want to know if you're alive." Chapter 1086. Little Chi's Foreign Affairs 73. He Yenji had disappeared. No one knew where He Yenji had gone, but there was no trace of him in the school or even in the entire Jianchuan. Rumors were flying in the school. It was rumored that He Yenji had been hacked to death on the street by a big shot. His face was unrecognizable and there was no one to collect his body. Little Chi listened. It would be great if he had really been hacked to death. That way she would give up. This was a month after He Yenji's disappearance. It was also Little Chi's first day of school. She had been looking for He Yenji for a full 30 days, but there was no news of him. It was as if he had evaporated from the face of the earth. In the beginning, Little Chi was only worried. She was worried that He Yenji was in a dangerous situation. Over time, her worry turned into anger and resentment. If she had known that such a day would come, why would they have wasted each other's time? Every day that Little Chi looked for He Yenji, she would delete a text message that she had sent to He Yenji. But even so, she knew very well in her heart that once something left a mark in your heart, it would be deeply rooted and could never be erased. Yanjun saw that Little Chi had gone to school. She quickly asked her after school, "What happened between you and He Yenji? Where is he?" Little Chi looked at the empty seat beside her and shook her head. "Yes, where is he?" Yanjun was a little confused when she saw her reaction. It was really strange for these two to be in a relationship. However, the lively and cheerful Little Chi had become a lot quieter since school started. After school, Little Chi left the school alone. However, on the way to get the car, she heard the familiar words again. "I heard that He Yenji is being kept by a rich woman. Someone saw him going in and out of entertainment places." Really? Back then He Yenji was proud and arrogant. He didn't like anyone, but in the end, he was still sold. This time Little Chi did not hold back. She directly went forward and grabbed the two girls' lapels. She slapped each of them. "He Yenji is not someone you can talk about. If I hear these words from your mouths again, don't blame me for sending your entire family to emigrate." The two of them were stunned. They did not expect Little Chi to have such a big reaction. Then Little Chi pushed the two of them away. "Get lost." The people around were shocked by Little Chi's intense reaction. Little Chi, who had not gone to school for a month, had obviously changed her temperament. Most importantly, she was now riding a motorcycle to school just like He Yenji used to. Little Chi didn't know how to vent the pain in her heart, so she went cross-country in the mountains. When she fell, she curled up on the ground. After crying enough, she went home peacefully. Mu Chichi was very worried about her daughter's recent condition. So, she did not even work overtime and went home early to accompany her daughter. However, why would Little Chi need her company? Helpless, Mu Chichi returned to the study to look for her husband. Where did that brat from the He family go? Sheng Xiao put down the document and hugged Mu Chichi. "On the night of the He family's accident, that kid came to me. Back then, in order to get rid of a life of fighting, he made a deal with someone in the underworld, who knew that the other party's subordinate would leak this matter to the enemy, so that kid was killed by the enemy." Sheng Xiao looked at Mu Chichi and explained calmly, "The other party offered a high price for his head. Then why did he look for you? He couldn't let go of Xiao Wan and racked his brains. The only thing he couldn't let go of was our daughter. The night he made the decision, he sat outside Zhongting all night." Sheng Xiao hugged Mu Chichi and answered, A daughter will eventually grow up, but she didn't see the wrong person, huh?" End of this chapter. Chapter 1087. Little Chi's Foreign Affairs 74. Mu Chichi nodded after hearing this. Relationships were the best thing to hone a person's heart. This was also a rare and precious experience in relationships. Did he say when he would be back? Even someone as powerful as Sheng Xiao could not answer this question. Therefore he could only shake his head. However, what the couple did not know was that Little Chi was just outside the door and heard their conversation. Then she returned to her room without a word. Unknowingly, tears had already streamed down her face. However, this still did not stop Little Chi from hating He Yenji. However, the more she hated someone, the easier it was for her to live like him. 5 years later, Jianchuan High School. The current little Qi was famous for doing whatever she wanted in school. She had learned all of He Yanji's bad habits. As a third-year high school student who was about to graduate, the form teacher had long given up on disciplining her. After all, with little Qi's identity, who could control her? It was another Friday. Before the afternoon break, Yan Zhen threw a note and asked little Qi to accompany her to meet an online friend. In this era, there were still people who had pure online relationships, but there was nothing she could do. Who asked Yan Zhen to be her only friend? After school, little Qi rode her heavy machine and brought Yan Zhen to the restaurant where she had agreed to meet the online friend. She did not expect it to be a 5-star hotel. After the two of them got out of the car, little Qi rolled her eyes. There's only one purpose for a man to meet at a place like this, and that is to sleep with you. No. Yan Zhen held little Qi's arm and said, "He explained to me that this hotel is owned by his family. You even got a rich husband?" Little Qi rolled her eyes even more. That kind of rich family's kids are usually just playing around. Just accompany me to meet him. With you around, I'm not afraid of losing out. Little Qi crossed her arms impatiently. Her brown eyes were filled with helplessness. I'm afraid of you. In just a few years, the two of them had changed their personalities. Little Qi became more and more handsome, and Yan Zhen became more and more feminine. The two of them appeared in the hotel and immediately attracted the attention of a group of men. When the waiter came over with the menu, little Qi took a look and threw it to Yan Zhen. However, the moment she looked up, she was suddenly stunned. The 7 or 8 men walking toward them walked very fast, but even in a flash, little Qi still saw one of them wearing a black trench coat. He had a white shirt on the inside, black casual pants on the lower half, and a pair of brown leather shoes. Little Qi immediately got up from her chair, which surprised Yan Zhen. Who did you see? Little Qi quickly held her trembling hands and pretended to sit back on the chair as if nothing had happened. No. But from that moment on, she could no longer hear anything in her head, and her eyes could no longer see anything else. In his mind, there was only the man in the black trench coat, black gloves, and an evil aura. Xing Qingwan? Little Qi. What? Upon hearing Yan Zhen's shout, little Qi frowned and snapped back to her senses. What's wrong with you? Yan Zhen looked at her worriedly. I think I saw He Yanji. Little Qi pretended to be calm and replied. You say it as if it's true. Just treat it as if he's dead. He hasn't come back for so many years. This time Yan Zhen rolled her eyes. You just go crazy from time to time? However, just as Yan Zhen was mocking little Qi, the group of men walked out of the hotel lobby again. This time even Yan Zhen saw it clearly. After a long time, Yan Zhen finally said, He's so King handsome. Yes, young master, he is back. He gave young master he the crematorium for chasing his wife. The secret of leaving was said slowly. End of this chapter. Chapter 1088. Little Qi didn't say anything. When Yan Zhen saw this, she couldn't help but laugh awkwardly. No matter how handsome he is, he's still a heartless man. Let's go. It's fine if we don't meet this online friend. Of course, why not? Little Qi turned her gaze away and pretended as if nothing had happened. Don't try to be brave. Yan Zhen exposed her. All these years, who do you think you are? Is it worth it? But look at He Yanji. He has a group of subordinates behind him. If he really remembers you, why didn't he look for you? Wan, wake up. You're Xing Zhao's daughter. What kind of man can't you get? Little Qi felt her throat burn, and even her breathing became extremely heavy. It's my fault. Why did I have to meet an online friend? After saying that, Yan Zhen pulled little Qi away from the hotel. When she returned to the garage and saw the motorcycle in the garage, little Qi felt her cheeks burn as if she had been slapped in the face. Therefore she called Cheng Hui directly. Uncle Hui, come and pick me up. Where's the motorcycle? Yan Zhen asked her. Return it to whoever gave it to you. Little Qi only said these words. Then the extended Rolls-Royce stopped at the entrance of the hotel. Little Qi threw the car keys into the trash can and stepped into her car. It had been 5 years. It was good that he was dead, but she suddenly felt that she couldn't accept that He Yanji was still alive and not looking for her. Since he was still alive, then the things that she had guarded for 5 years were meaningless. Therefore, she resolutely threw away the motorcycle that He Yanji had given her, including the phone that she had used for 5 years. She wanted to be herself. On the way back, little Qi didn't say a word. Cheng Hui looked at her through the rearview mirror. After a long while, he said, Miss, this is probably the last time I'll pick you up. When little Qi heard this, she looked at Cheng Hui in surprise. Uncle Hui, even you are leaving me? Miss, this is Sir's arrangement. Tomorrow a new shadow will take over my job. I also want to get married and start a family, Cheng Hui said helplessly. All these years, you and Sir have taken good care of me. I know that, but my mother is old and needs her son by her side. So, after much consideration, I finally decided to return to my mother. All good things must come to an end. I hope that everything will go smoothly in the future, Mississippi. Little Chi didn't say anything and continued to be silent. When they reached the entrance of the banyan courtyard, she sobbed and asked Cheng Hui, "Do you have enough money?" "My dad. Mr. has given me a generous salary. All these years, he has never treated me unfairly." Little Chi opened her mouth but could not say anything. She could only say, "That's it then, Uncle Hui. Everything goes smoothly." Cheng Hui looked at Little Chi's thin back and felt a little sorry for her. In fact, he didn't want to resign. He wanted to be transferred. This matter was supposed to wait until next year, but Xing Xiao suddenly had other arrangements. So, Cheng Hui was transferred ahead of schedule. Cheng Hui did not know who Little Chi's new shadow was, but he hoped that the young lady would be healthy and happy in the future. This night was not easy for Little Chi. When she saw He Yanji again, the shadow that had taken care of her for many years had also left. Little Chi locked herself in the study for the whole night. The next morning she took off those extreme things and put on her high school uniform again. However, before she went to school, she saw Xing Xiao waiting for her in the dining room. "Dad. The new shadow is reporting downstairs. This time you don't have to worry about him leaving halfway." Xing Xiao seemed to know what she was upset about and comforted her gently. "Okay." Little Chi nodded slightly. After breakfast she picked up her school bag and went to school. However, the moment she opened the car door she was stunned. Chapter 1089. It was just a side profile, but it was uncanny, resolute, and handsome. The other party tilted his head slightly with a smile on his lips. "I'm your new shadow, He Yanji." After hearing this, Little Chi opened the door and got out of the car. He Yanji seemed to have expected her to have such a reaction. He got out of the car and stopped her. "Xiao Wan." Little Chi raised her head and slapped him with all her strength. "Get lost." He Yanji tilted his head but still pulled her into the car. "Let's go to school, Mississippi." Little Chi sat in the back seat and twisted her body, not wanting He Yanji to see her expression. "How could I dare to trouble brother He to be my chauffeur?" He Yanji opened his mouth but did not say anything. He just drove Little Chi to the entrance of Jianchuan High School. When they arrived at the school gate, He Yanji opened the car door for Little Chi. However, Little Chi got out of the car and did not even want to look at him. "Go back and be your big brother. Don't disturb my life anymore. If I, Xing Qingwan, say that I don't want it, I won't want it." He Yanji looked at her stubborn back and mocked himself slightly. However, before Little Chi could go far, he said to her, "At 5:30 p.m., I'll wait for you at the school gate." Little Chi did not stop and walked straight toward the school gate. Just now, Xiao Wan had said, "How could I trouble brother He to be my chauffeur?" The fact that she could say this meant that she had long known about his actions in the underworld because he had replaced the big brother who had stabbed Andy Hong back then and become the second in command. Now he could do whatever he wanted in both the underworld and the underworld, but he had never come to look for her. How many times had he been disappointed that he had become so cold-hearted? Back then Xiao Wan had a pair of clean and clear eyes. Now there was always grief in Xiao Wan's eyes that could not be dispelled. He knew that this was all caused by him. He had imagined the scene of their reunion thousands of times, but he did not expect her to say such decisive words. The day of their reunion was the day of their end. This was the scene that she had long thought of, right? He Yanji watched Little Chi's figure disappear and returned to the car. Just as Little Chi had said, he was now the boss of the gang and he still had to deal with gang affairs. Little Chi stood on the teaching building and watched the Rolls-Royce leave. There was no obvious change in her expression, but this could only deceive others. She could not deceive herself. After returning to the classroom, Yanjun was shocked to see the dark circles around her eyes. "What happened to you last night?" Little Chi snorted. "You'll know after school. What are you trying to hide?" Little Chi didn't say anything else. Instead, she buried her head in what a student should do. When school was over, Little Chi walked with a large group of classmates. When she saw the Rolls-Royce, she walked over with everyone. When He Yanji saw her, he got out of the car. Then he heard Little Chi say to everyone, "My driver is here. I'll be leaving first." Yanjun was stunned. Everyone was stunned because Little Chi's new driver was He Yanji. Little Chi deliberately emphasized the word driver, and called so many people together. It was obvious that she was humiliating them. He Yanji was Xing Qingwan's driver. Xing Qingwan's new driver was He Yanji. This person who had been missing for so many years actually appeared again? He even became the Xing family's chauffeur. Everyone had complicated feelings, especially Yanjin. She had watched little Qi change little by little in the past 5 years. The person she did not want little Qi to see the most was He Yanji. Therefore, she immediately followed little Qi into the Xing family's car. What's going on? Chapter 1090. I still want to know what's going on. Little Qi sat in the back. Her tone was cold and there was even a hint of anger. He Yanji, are you here to fool around again? Yanjun could not get an answer from little Qi, so she attacked He Yanji. Since you left, you shouldn't have appeared again. You deserve to die. He Yanji didn't say anything, but he looked at the front passenger seat. Yanjun followed his line of sight and found a machete on the passenger seat. There seemed to be blood on it. Yanjun was so scared that her face turned pale. She didn't dare to say anything. Midnight 7 looked out of the window. At this time, He Yanji tilted his head and asked little Qi, do you have homework? If you do, you have to go to my house for the time being. I have my own home, little Qi answered stiffly. Your parents went to Italy and asked me to look after you for the time being? He Yanji replied calmly. What are you? Little Qi directly asked He Yanji, send me to the Shin family. Even if there's no one left in the Shin family, I still have the Xing family. It's not your turn yet. As Yanjun listened to their conversation, she became even more flustered. If she had known earlier, she wouldn't have gotten in the car. He Yanji paused for a moment. His voice was a little hoarse and there seemed to be a hint of pleading in it. Grandma wants to see you. That's your grandmother, not mine. Little Qi did not waver at all. Her voice was still as hard as a rock. 5 years ago, Grandma injured her right leg in that fire. All these years she has been in pain. Her only wish is to see you. He Yanji softened his voice. I can go see her, but I hope that from then on, you won't disturb my life anymore. Yanji, I admit that I still love you, but I hate you even more. After hearing little Qi's words, Yanjin's eyes couldn't help but widen. What kind of enmity did these two people have? Especially little Qi's mixed emotions of love and hate. She felt goosebumps all over her body. So, don't force me anymore. Let me live. Little Qi's every word was like a sharp sword that pierced into He Yanji's heart. I promise you. I'll retreat to a place where you can't see me. After He Yanji finished speaking, the car stopped because they had already arrived at the entrance of the hospital. He Yanji brought little Qi into the hospital's recuperation department. Only then did little Qi see the old man she had not seen in a long time. She was still fanning herself and sitting peacefully in the wheelchair. Her right leg was empty. Because of the fire, the old lady had lost a leg. Seeing this, little Qi couldn't control herself and burst into tears. When old lady he saw her, she immediately became excited. Lil Wan? Are you Lil Wan? Little Qi walked over and squatted down in front of her. Grandma. Oh my Xiao Guai, Grandma finally sees you again. My Xiao Guai. In the old man's arms, little Qi couldn't control her emotions and cried silently. Grandma has been looking forward to it for many years. Grandma has been waiting and waiting. Grandma was afraid that you didn't want that kid anymore. Grandma is old. After Aunt Hong left, I'm his only family member. So, how can Grandma be at ease when I don't see you? Little Qi didn't know what to say. She only felt the old man's palm was burning hot. Now that you're here, I'm relieved. After saying that, the old lady fainted on little Qi's shoulder. Little Qi immediately turned her head and shouted at He Yanji, call the doctor, call the doctor. Bookmark for easier reading. Chapter 1091. The doctor tried his best to save her, but there was nothing he could do. Old madam, he was already physically and mentally exhausted. The reason why she endured the pain was because she had strong willpower to hold on and wanted to see little Qi again. Without seeing little Qi, she couldn't stop worrying about He Yanji. Now that she had seen him and her wish had been fulfilled, she didn't want to hold on anymore. She couldn't hold on anymore. Seeing the kind old lady on the hospital bed, little Qi cried out loud. Behind her, He Yanji reached out to hold her waist. Why did you let me see this? He Yanji, you and I are not from the same world. Why did you have to drag me in? What is this? Little Qi punched He Yanji's body excitedly. I really wish I could kill you. He Yanji wrapped his arms around little Qi and squatted on the ground to comfort her. I know I'm very selfish, but this is Grandma's only wish. She has been in pain for too long. I don't want her to continue to be in pain. Since you knew she was in pain, why didn't you appear earlier? It's been 5 years. Yenji, what's the point of you appearing now? The murderer who killed Auntie Hong was executed yesterday, Yenji said hoarsely. Why would I drag the old, weak, sick, and disabled with a belly full of hatred and a kill order to stay by your side? Little Chi was speechless. She could only lean on Yenji's shoulder and cry bitterly. Xiaowan, I don't have any relatives anymore. At this moment Yenji's voice was low and broken. Little Chi closed her eyes. She didn't want to think about anything. She just felt too tired and wanted to sleep. Yenji hugged Little Chi and watched as she fainted. Then he picked her up. Yanzhen was outside the ward. Seeing this, she quickly asked, "Where are you taking Little Chi? There's a funeral at home, so I won't send you off." With that, Yenji left the hospital with Little Chi in his arms. This time Little Chi slept very soundly. When she woke up, she found herself in an unfamiliar room. At this moment, it was dark outside the window. Little Chi got up to open the door but was stopped by the man outside. "Miss Sheng, brother, he told you to rest well." "Where is he?" Little Chi asked. "Downstairs." Yenji's subordinate answered. Little Chi went downstairs barefoot and saw that the living room downstairs had been decorated into a morning hall. In the middle of the morning hall, there was a photo of old Madame He. In the photo she looked so peaceful. Yenji stood in the middle of the morning hall with a gloomy expression. Little Chi looked at this man from behind. Her heart suddenly ached, but this did not mean that she had to forgive Yenji. She said that she still loved this man, but at the same time she hated him very much. As if sensing someone behind him, Yenji turned around and saw Little Chi looking at him with a pale face. He whispered, "Why don't you sleep a little longer?" "I want to go home," Little Chi answered hoarsely. "All right." Yenji only said one word. Then he ordered the subordinate behind Little Chi, "Jichu, send Miss Sheng home." "Brother He." "Now." After saying that, Yenji turned around and looked at the old lady's photo. "Miss Sheng, can you not go? Brother He doesn't have any relatives anymore." The subordinate called Jichu looked at Little Chi pleadingly. "Please, if you don't want to see him, go upstairs and rest. But, can you not leave this place?" Little Chi didn't say anything, but her heart ached. However, she still didn't leave heartlessly. She went straight up to the second floor and returned to the bedroom she had just been in. Bookmark for easier reading. Chapter 1092. Thank you, Miss Sheng. Jichu followed behind Little Chi and thanked her. His tone was humble and pitiful. Little Chi couldn't say a word. Perhaps, deep in her bones, she still had some expectations for Yenji, but she didn't dare to admit it. After returning to her room, Little Chi looked at Yenji's room again. There was a bed and a wardrobe. Other than that, there wasn't even an extra sofa. It was empty and cold. Was this really the room of a big shot? "Does your brother He usually live here?" Hearing Little Chi's question, Jichu nodded. "Yes, I've been with brother He for so many years. His life has always been so simple. He doesn't have much to do to pass the time." "Then why do you know about me?" Brother He hid it very well. In the underworld, he doesn't even dare to reveal the most important person to others. Isn't that equivalent to giving the other party a target? "But I know because I've seen a photo of you in brother He's wallet," Jichu explained in a low voice. "Every time brother He completes a big mission, he will take out the photo to take a look. I've secretly seen it a few times." "Go out. Let me be alone." Little Chi's heart tightened when she heard Jichu's words. She didn't know what the man in the morning hall below was feeling at this moment. Little Chi lay on the bed. The smell of Yenji's body still lingered on the bedding. Under the familiar smell, Little Chi relaxed her tense nerves and unknowingly fell asleep with the bedding in her arms. In the middle of the night, she was woken up by a nightmare. She wanted to sit up, but she found that she couldn't move her waist. Little Chi looked down and found an arm across her waist. Behind her, the man's even breathing could be heard. Other than Yenji, there was no one else. Little Chi struggled to get up, but Yenji held her down. "Xiaowan, let me hug you for a while. Just for a while. I haven't forgiven you yet. Grandma is gone. From now on, who should I fight for?" In the darkness, Yenji suddenly asked mournfully. This caused Little Chi's body to tremble, and she suddenly felt so much pain that she couldn't control herself. Back then, when Aunt Hong was in trouble and Grandma was injured, there were people who offered a bounty of 200,000 to take my life. I left without saying goodbye. I chose to leave because I knew that Grandma would not be able to live without me. However, you still have your parents and relatives. Little one, it's been 5 years and I've been living in the nightmare of Aunt Hong's blood every day. So I swear that I will avenge Aunt Hong at all costs. Grandma has never liked me being in the underworld. I know that after the fire, her lungs were badly damaged and she developed lung cancer. I tried everything I could to keep her by my side, but when I saw her enduring the pain, I knew I was too selfish. I have no family. From now on, I have nothing. In the faint moonlight, Little Chi cried silently. Especially when he heard He Yanji say that he had nothing. What about me? What am I? When she asked this question, Little Chi clearly felt that the body behind her was slightly stiff. I don't dare to say anything to ask you to stay. He Yanji, let me tell you, I hate you, I'm angry with you, and I wish I could cut you into 1,000 pieces. However, only I can bully you. No one else can. We haven't broken up yet. I'm not done with you, Little Chi shouted excitedly and hoarsely. Chapter 1093. After hearing this, He Yanji fell into ecstasy. He quickly tightened his arms. The feeling of regaining what he had lost made him want to cry. Little Chi hugged He Yanji's arm and couldn't help but cry. You bastard He Yanji *CK your ancestors. Why are you being reserved? Can I cut you into 8 pieces and make soup to drink? As long as you left me a word, even if it was just one word telling me to wait for you, I would have no complaints. And today, as long as you said that you wouldn't let me go, as long as you said it, I wouldn't refuse you even if I died of discomfort. In the end, you still need your little brother to beg me for this? Because I'm afraid. He Yanji answered hoarsely. I can't lose any more. Xiaowan, I'm afraid I'll collapse. Little Chi was so angry that her heart was blocked, so she bit He Yanji's arm, leaving a row of neat teeth marks. You just lack someone to take care of you. He Yanji hugged Little Chi tightly and blew his hot breath into her ear. Please don't interfere. That night the two of them cried and laughed. They talked to each other tirelessly, so much so that in the end, they didn't even know how they fell asleep. The next morning, Little Chi woke up from the bed and turned to look at He Yanji. However, he had already gotten up. Little Chi heard the sound of morning music downstairs, so she quickly got up. Unexpectedly, Ji-Chu was waiting at the door. Miss Sheng, you're up. Brother, he asked me to send you to school. Where's he? Little Chi asked as she tidied up her appearance. He's downstairs dealing with the old lady's funeral, so I'm afraid he won't be able to send you off personally. Brother, he said that when the old lady's matter is settled, he'll personally be your chauffeur. Ji-Chu conveyed He Yanji's message seriously. Little Chi listened, her expression unreadable. After a long while, she continued to ask Ji-Chu, when is the funeral? Tomorrow morning. I'll come back tonight. Little Chi wrote her phone number on Ji-Chu's palm and asked him to hand it to He Yanji. Watch him. If there's anything, remember to call me. Okay. Ji-Chu clenched his fist and nodded vigorously. Little Chi silently walked down the stairs and left the courtyard when He Yanji's back was facing her. He knew He Yanji's intentions. There would definitely be many people from the underworld coming to pay their respects at the old lady's funeral. He did not want him to be involved, so he asked Ji-Chu to send him away. Little Chi felt that she was very strange. She clearly hated him, but she could not help but want to listen to him. She silently made plans for him, especially when she saw him dressed in a black suit and bowing to the guests in the morning hall. Little Chi clenched her hands tightly. If it was true love, how many people would be able to see the person they loved suffer? Forget it. He would slowly settle the scores from the past 5 years with him in the future. Since he couldn't escape, then he wouldn't. She was going to be an adult soon, so there was no need to play hide and seek like a child. After Little Chi left, Ji-Chu gave the phone number to He Yanji. Brother, Miss Sheng asked me to give this to you. He Yanji took out his phone, wrote down Little Chi's phone number and added it to his favorites. Note, wife. When you see her in the future, you have to call her sister-in-law. He Yanji secretly swore in his heart that from now on, he would make up for everything he owed Little Chi. I only have you and only you. Chapter 1094. When they arrived at school, Yanjun saw Little Chi enter the classroom and quickly dragged her to the corridor. What happened yesterday? Yanji's grandmother is really gone? Little Chi nodded, confirming that what Yanjun had seen was true. Then what are your plans? I don't have any plans. I'll stay by his side and slowly torture him. After saying this in a normal tone, Little Chi carried her school bag and returned to the classroom. Yanjun shrugged as if she had expected this outcome. However, was she really not afraid of being hacked to death by a gangster? This really required courage. If it were an ordinary person, they would definitely hide for a long time. During the break, the school was filled with gossip again. The topic revolved around Hiyenji and Little Chi. Hearing the questions from others, Little Chi remembered that in order to deliberately humiliate Hiyenji yesterday, she had let the whole school see that Hiyenji was her chauffeur. Xing Qingwan, is Hiyenji really your chauffeur? Didn't he go missing? Isn't Hiyenji being supported by a rich woman? But why did I hear that he's now a big shot in the underworld? Faced with the questions around her, Little Chi felt a headache coming on. If she had known that she was looking for trouble for herself, she wouldn't have done what she did yesterday. She had hurt others and herself. When I saw Hiyenji yesterday, I felt that he was even more handsome than before. Black windbreaker, white shirt, and that body of muscle. I could tell at a glance that he was very strong. Little Chi was speechless. Little Chi really couldn't stand a bunch of women fantasizing about her man, so she quickly found a quiet place to hide. She didn't know if the grief in his heart had lessened after a whole day. At 6 o'clock in the evening, Little Chi walked out of school and saw Ji-Chu driving a car and waving at her at the door. Sister-in-law, Little Chi coughed lightly and quickly walked over. She opened the car door. Don't call me that in the future. But, brother, he ordered it. Is he okay today? Little Chi put away her anger and asked softly at the mention of Hiyenji. How can he be okay when his dearest person is gone? After a whole day he's haggard. Ji-Chu sighed slightly. Sister-in-law, only you can comfort him. Little Chi did not say anything. At this moment, what floated in her mind was Hiyenji's lonely figure from last night. Soon Ji-Chu brought Little Chi to Hiyenji's residence. At this moment there were no outsiders in the morning hall. Only Hiyenji was sitting in front of the old lady's portrait. Little Chi put down her school bag and walked into the morning hall. She picked up a white chrysanthemum from the door and placed it in front of the old lady's coffin. I regret it very much. I promised Hiyenji to see you last night. If I didn't show up, maybe. Hiyenji grabbed Little Chi. After she squatted down, he hugged her. You don't have to blame yourself. I was the one who made this choice. In that instant, Little Chi pushed Hiyenji away. You're having a fever. Do you know that? Hiyenji leaned against the cold wall, looking haggard. Just as he was about to answer, he realized that someone had entered the morning hall, so he pushed Little Chi to Ji-Chu. Go up and eat and rest. I'll come up later. Little Chi frowned. She realized that the person who entered the morning hall was not a kind person, so she did not refuse and went up to the second floor with Ji-Chu. Brother Yang, Yenji, I'm sorry for your loss. The person called Brother Yang entered the morning hall and offered the old lady a bouquet of flowers. You have to take good care of yourself. You're my right-hand man now. I can't leave you. I know. Hiyenji nodded respectfully. However, there was a fog hidden in his eyes, making it impossible to see through him. That girl just now is the young lady of the Sheng family, right? Brother Yang looked upstairs meaningfully. I'll introduce her to you another day. Chapter 1095. Brother Yang, please forgive her. Her family doesn't want her to have anything to do with the gang, Hiyenji explained to the other party apologetically. You know, the other party patted Hiyenji's shoulder and nodded. Brother Yang understands. It's better not to provoke the Sheng family. However, if you can get involved with the daughter of the Sheng family, it will be more convenient for you to do things in the future. I'm happy to see it happen. Hiyenji frowned but did not explain. After Brother Yang left, he turned around and saw Little Chi at the staircase. Hiyenji opened his mouth and wanted to say something, but in the end, he could not say anything. Come up and take your medicine. Little Chi did not question him. She only said these words and turned to go upstairs. Hiyenji followed her upstairs and saw Little Chi's busy back. He was secretly a little anxious, but he did not know how to explain it. He did not come back to look for her for that kind of thing. The room was dark and the light was very weak. Hiyenji sat down on the bed tiredly. He did not dare to look away from Little Chi for a moment. Shawan, are we unable to go back to the past? Why are you in such a hurry? You've been gone for 5 years. Can't I be angry for a while? Little Chi replied with her back to Hiyenji. Lie down and sleep. I'll wake you in the morning. I'm afraid that you'll leave. Hiyenji took off his gloves and placed them on the bedside table. His voice was low and dry. If you keep talking, I'm really leaving. Hiyenji lay down obediently and waited for Little Chi to bring the medicine to his mouth. If you still have a fever at night, you have to go to the hospital to treat it. Hiyenji obediently took the medicine and took the opportunity to hold Little Chi's hand. Soon he fell asleep. Little Chi sat by the bed and looked down at his hands that were holding her. Especially on the back of his right hand, there was a long scar. It was ferocious and evil. No wonder he had to wear gloves. Had he really been living on the edge of a knife for the past 5 years? Little Chi sighed slightly. Under the moonlight, Yenji's resolute face became calm and gentle. However, looking at the corners of his eyes and side profile, there was a trace of murderous aura. 5 years ago, Yenji was cynical and unruly. At this moment, Yenji was mature and steady. It was hard to fathom him. Little Chi looked at his sleeping face and unknowingly fell asleep on Yenji's chest. At this moment, Yenji slowly opened his eyes and looked down at the little woman on his chest. He reached out and carried her to the bed. Little Chi thought that this was a dream. In her half-asleep state, she smiled at Yenji. This was the first time Little Chi had smiled at him since their reunion. It was very sweet and soul-stirring. Yenji couldn't help but turn over and kiss her. The vow that they could only kiss at the age of 16 was still ringing in his ears. However, this little woman was about to turn 18. Not to mention kissing, she could even directly abduct him to bed. Of course, he didn't want to yet. He wanted this little woman to completely forgive and accept him, both physically and mentally. Because he was afraid of waking Little Chi up, Yenji only dared to carefully taste the sweetness. When he opened his eyes and saw that she was sleeping soundly, he reached out and hugged her so that she could sleep more comfortably. At 5 o'clock in the morning, the alarm clock broke the silence in the room. Little Chi propped herself up and realized that the seat beside her was empty again. Yenji had already gotten up. At this moment, he was in the old lady's room packing her belongings. Chapter 1096. Everything here had the old lady's shadow and aura. Yenji stood in the room tidying up the things one by one. His hands did not stop, but his back view was full of loneliness. Because he still believed that he had killed the old lady. If he had not made a deal with Brother Nan back then everything that happened later would not have happened. Auntie Hong would not have died, Grandma would not have died, and his family would not have left him one by one. With this thought in mind, he could not help but clench his right hand. The old lady's brooch in his palm pierced his palm and blood flowed down. When Little Chi saw this, she quickly walked up, raised his right hand and scolded, "Let go. Don't you want your hand anymore?" "I don't." Yenji let go of his right hand and looked at the blood-stained brooch in his palm. "Because I killed Grandma. Grandma never blamed you. Even when she died, she was still worried about you. If you still have the heart, send Grandma off on her last journey." Little Chi's eyes were red as she took the brooch away from Yenji's palm. Yenji did not say anything. He just looked at Little Chi with red eyes. "I'll go get the medicine box." Yenji still did not answer. He just used his left hand to suddenly hug Little Chi into his arms. "Don't leave me. Shaowan, I only have you." Little Chi knew that at this moment, Yenji seemed to have been abandoned. He did not have any sense of security. No words of comfort could make him relax. Therefore Little Chi just patted his back and said, "I'm not going anywhere. I'll be in your sight." Then Little Chi went to get the medicine box. However, just as the two of them were bandaging, Jichu knocked on the door and said, "Brother He, sister-in-law, it's time. I'll be done soon." Little Chi quickly took out gauze and carefully bandaged Yenji's wound. Yenji looked at his palm that was wrapped in gauze and then at the back of his right hand. If Shaowan had been here, he might not have left such an ugly scar. "Let's go." Little Chi stood up and said to Yenji, "Don't let Grandma wait too long." The old lady's funeral ceremony was very simple. Other than Yenji and the other two, the rest were Yenji's subordinates. A group of people dressed in black and carrying white flowers sent the old lady into the mausoleum. A group of people dressed in black and carrying white flowers sent the old lady into the mausoleum. After the old lady's funeral, she stood behind Yenji and accompanied him from afar. It was not until evening when the night rain suddenly fell that Yenji turned around and left his grandmother's grave with Little Chi in his arms. At least she got the answer she wanted. "Lil Wan, Grandma left without any worries, didn't she?" Little Chi leaned against Yenji's chest, her face covered in cold and wet rain. "Of course. Let's go." With that, Yenji walked out of the cemetery. Outside the door, Jichu was waiting by the car. When he saw the two of them come out, he quickly opened the door. "Brother He, are you going home?" "No, let's go to Ji's room, go to Ji's." "Shao, Ji's little. He's she's ladies, Ji's, then, she. Li, soon, Li, they soon, and the they. Soon they entered the hotel. Soon they all. Chi. By Chu after back she. He. Little Chi looked at He Yenji, who had silently entered the room, and nodded. Go and rest. Ji Chu left obediently and Little Chi closed the door. Chapter 1097. Inside the room, He Yenji didn't turn on the lights. He just sat on the sofa wet. Little Chi walked behind him and wanted to take off his coat for him, but He Yenji stopped her. No need. I'm afraid I won't be able to control myself. Little Chi's hand paused, then she said above his head, He Yenji, I'm no longer who I used to be. I can do whatever I want. Do you still need to worry so much about us? He Yenji didn't say anything. This time, even if you die, your corpse will be mine. Little Chi whispered into He Yenji's ear and then continued what she was doing. This time, He Yenji didn't stop her. Soon, Little Chi took off his black coat. The originally white shirt, because it was drenched, stuck tightly to He Yenji's body as if he wasn't wearing it. Little Chi looked at the scars through the shirt. Then she went around to He Yenji and squatted down. She unbuttoned his shirt one by one. At this moment, Little Chi was no longer as shy as before. Instead, she was like a woman as she looked at He Yenji's gradually exposed chest. Shawan, okay. Little Chi nodded calmly. I want to kiss, He Yenji said as he stared into Little Chi's eyes. Little Chi pinched his shirt and pecked his lips. Is that okay? Not this kind. It's the kind with desire. As soon as He Yenji finished speaking, Little Chi held his face and kissed him without hesitation. He Yenji's heart trembled. He immediately hugged Little Chi's waist, but she pushed him away. You want to infect me with the cold? He Yenji was a little confused. He wasn't satisfied at all, so he couldn't help but want to kiss her again. However, Little Chi blocked him with her palm. Have you touched other women in the past 5 years? He Yenji shook his head. Haven't you had sex? I looked at your photo and solved it myself. Does that count? He Yenji asked as he removed Little Chi's palm. You're a big shot. You didn't bring a woman with you? This time He Yenji didn't answer. Instead, he pulled Little Chi onto his lap and said in a hoarse and sexy voice, If it's not you, I don't want anyone. After hearing this, Little Chi knew that part of his attention had been diverted because his bestial nature had returned. I said no. Little Chi refused righteously. I'm easily infected. Have you forgotten that I have an old illness? He Yenji hugged her and sniffed her neck. He nodded. I'm going to take a shower. Of course. Little Chi got up from his legs and nodded, looking like a housekeeper. He Yenji stood up and walked towards the bathroom. However, the moment he opened the door, he suddenly turned around and said to Little Chi, If you don't like me, I can handle it. I don't dislike you, Little Chi immediately replied. But, have you killed anyone? Have you sold drugs before? Have you done anything illegal? Faced with Little Chi's 3 consecutive questions, He Yenji shook his head. I haven't done a single dirty thing because I know that once I'm really involved, it'll be impossible for us to be together again. Then why are you the boss? Because of this. He Yenji took out his fist. I know what I'm doing. Go take a shower. Little Chi believed in him because He Yenji had a kind of cohesiveness that made people involuntarily submit to him wholeheartedly. Chapter 1098. Half an hour later, He Yenji returned to his room wrapped in a bath towel. At this time, Little Chi also changed into her nightgown. You sleep first. I'll go wash up. He Yenji nodded slightly. He couldn't bear to break the warm atmosphere at this moment, so he pulled away the blanket and lay on the bed. Little Chi went into the bathroom to freshen up. A moment later, she returned to the bedroom and naturally lay down beside He Yenji. At that moment, He Yenji had already fallen into a deep sleep. Because of the cold and the rain, he did not have the extra energy to wait for Little Chi to come out of the bathroom. Little Chi lay on her side on the bed and looked at the man. Then she slowly pulled him into her arms. Sleep well. When you wake up tomorrow, everything will be over. The next morning, the sun was shining brightly. He Yenji woke up from his bed and found that the room was empty. Little Chi was nowhere to be seen. He Yenji quickly got up to look for her, but when he opened the door, he saw Ji Chu guarding the door. Brother He, why are you so anxious? Are you looking for sister-in-law? Where is she? He Yenji asked as he put on his coat. I've already sent her to school. Ji Chu replied with a smile. He Yenji looked up and realized that it was already 10 in the morning. It was fine as long as she didn't leave his side. He Yanji breathed a sigh of relief. Brother Yang has called several times. There's something that needs you to deal with. Jichu handed the phone to He Yanji. Brother Nan, it's the opposite. When He Yanji heard this news, he didn't have much of an expression. If it weren't for Brother Nan's subordinates leaking his information, Auntie Hong and Grandma wouldn't have died. Brother Yang wants you to deal with this matter properly and then take over all of Brother Nan's territories. I have my own plans for this matter. He Yanji took the phone and put it in his trouser pocket. I'm going to see Brother Yang. Go and do something for me. Hang up the house in Lushan and deal with it. Okay. Jichu also didn't want He Yanji to keep reminiscing about the past. Then tonight will you personally pick up sister-in-law? He Yanji raised his head and looked at Jichu coldly. His meaning was self-evident. He was meddling too much. Jichu shrunk his neck and didn't dare to ask about his boss's private affairs anymore. It was noon at Jianchuan High School. Yan Zhen and Bian Qi were having lunch in the school canteen. Seeing that Xiao Xiao was distracted, Yan Zhen leaned on her arm and blinked at her. Have you been with He Yanji for the past few days? Yes, I'll stay at his house, little Qi said bluntly. Then you guys, what are you thinking? His grandmother is gone. Do you think he has the mind to think about anything else? Little Qi rolled her eyes at Yan Zhen. He's a gangster. What can he think? Yan Zhen snorted. So, you've completely forgiven him? Little Qi didn't say anything because she was also asking herself in her heart. Was her anger gone just like that? A moment later, she decisively answered Yan Zhen, it's gone. In this world, apart from life and death, everything else was trivial. He Yanji did not betray her, nor did he play with her. Since she could not let go of He Yanji, why should she hold on to the past? You're too easy to talk to. Yan Zhen pouted. After all, little Qi had been in pain for 5 years. Although she had calmed down, it did not mean that she would not punish He Yanji. Little Qi thought so. She had plenty of ways to deliberately punish that bastard. Chapter 1099. At this moment, the business at Water Night was booming. Brother Yang had arranged to meet He Yanji at the nightclub. At this moment, the two of them were already sitting in the private room. Brother Yang, who dominated both the underworld and the underworld, naturally had women on his left and right. He had a cigar in his mouth just like a big shot. Your grandmother just passed away. I didn't want to disturb your rest, but Anan is really too unconscious. All these years I've been protecting him in the underworld and letting him live a good life. I didn't expect him to still have second thoughts. Yanji, tell me, how can a person's heart be so greedy? What do you want to do, Brother Yang? He Yanji sat down on the sofa. He directly bypassed Brother Yang's words. Brother Yang pointed at him with his cigar and smiled. You're still like this. It's impossible to talk to you. Anan had some grudges with you before. I know. This time I'll give you a chance to collect the debt. If you win, all his territories will belong to you. I'll vent my anger. Otherwise, people in the underworld will say that I can't even teach a subordinate well. Understood, He Yanji said succinctly. I'll give you news in 3 days. You're leaving just like that? I'm going to pick someone up. He Yanji stood up and answered. Brother Yang smiled meaningfully. Among the few subordinates around him, He Yanji was the only one with a bright future. On one hand, he had the ability, and on the other hand, he knew how to change the background. However, Brother Yang also knew very well that this person was also the most dangerous person. Whether he was a sharp weapon or a stumbling block, it all depended on how the person who had him used it. At 6 o'clock in the afternoon, He Yanji was wearing a brown windbreaker and driving the Xing family's extended sedan. He was waiting for little Qi to finish class at the entrance of Jianchuan High School. Compared to his appearance a few days ago, He Yanji today actually made people feel more lonely and distressed. After all, his closest relative had passed away. It was rare for his face to be haggard. People kept coming in and out of the school, especially the girls. Naturally, their screams were endless. However, this did not include the old witch who used to be He Yanji's form teacher. She walked in front of He Yanji with a textbook in her hand. She pushed the glasses on the bridge of her nose and asked He Yanji, "Are you still receiving education?" "I'm just messing around," He Yanji replied lightly. What a pity. After saying these 3 words, the old witch walked around the Xing family's car and left He Yanji's line of sight with her head held high. According to her, He Yanji was so smart. He really shouldn't be such a hooligan. No matter what line of work he chose, he could still be at the top. He Yanji didn't care at all, because he remembered who he was and what he was doing. That was enough. Soon little Qi and Yan Zhen walked out of the school gate. This time Yin Zhen leaned on Little Chi's arm. Do you have the heart to punish such a devilish appearance? See you later. Little Chi winked at her and walked to He Yanji's side. Where are you going today? I'll send you back to the Sheng family. Your parents are back, He Yanji said as he opened the car door. I won't. Little Chi refused as she got into the car. I want to continue staying in the hotel with you. There's no need for that. You have the final say and I have the final say? Little Chi asked. He Yanji, your parents will ask about you. Moreover, it's against the rules for you to sleep with me. He Yanji closed the car door looking very mature. Your rules are mine. Little Chi asked again. He Yanji, don't think that I'll let you off so easily. I haven't settled the score with you yet. Then I'll take you cross-country in the mountains first. Then we'll watch the stars on the mountain. We'll go back to the hotel in the middle of the night and let you do whatever you want. Are you satisfied with this arrangement? He Yanji consciously offered the program menu. Chapter 1100. Thinking of the motorcycle that she had thrown away, Little Chi shook her head. I'm not going. I've already thrown the car away. He Yanji was speechless. He started the car and took Little Chi to the place where the two of them used to date 5 years ago. The narrow path had now become a wide road. The car is still there but the road is different, He Yanji said calmly. It seems that I have to find another way to make my little wife happy. In that case, do me the honor of having dinner? Aren't you a big shot? Why are you asking me? Little Chi looked like she was waiting to be dominated. He Yanji looked at Little Chi from the rearview mirror and smiled silently. Then he brought her back to the hotel and into the parking lot. Unexpectedly, after getting out of the car, Little Chi saw the motorcycle that she had thrown at the hotel a few days ago. You saw me? He Yanji curled the corners of his lips slightly and leaned against the front of the car. With a hint of self-deprecation he said, if there's anything else in the hotel that attracts my attention, it's you. It's just that when you left, the car wasn't there anymore. My heart tightened. Because when you came, riding it made my heart beat violently. I searched the parking lot and found this little thing. Little Chi's actions at that time made him feel as if he had been on a roller coaster twice that day. Watching her ride the bike, he knew that she still had him in her heart. Seeing her abandon the car, he was terrified that she was about to give up on him. Fortunately, it was not too late. Since you care so much, why can't you hold back from looking for me? Little Chi turned her head and stared at He Yanji as she asked seriously. How do you know that I haven't looked for you? He Yanji asked naturally. Little Chi was stunned. Don't say anything else. Let's go up and eat. The hotel should be ready. He Yanji was afraid that Little Chi would feel burdened, so he deliberately looked at his watch and then stood up to hold her hand. However, Little Chi's attention was still on He Yanji's words. She really wanted to know when he had appeared by her side. The two of them got into the elevator and soon arrived at the top floor of the hotel. Little Chi followed He Yanji into the hotel restaurant. At this time Ji-Chu came up to them. Brother He, sister-in-law. Go down and rest. Just keep an eye on what I told you, He Yanji said calmly. Understood. Looking at the entire restaurant, there were only He Yanji and Ming Chi. This should be the result of booking the entire restaurant. He Yanji was the first to pull out a chair at one end of the dining table. Then he reminded Little Chi, what happened? I don't like these fancy things. Little Chi suddenly said very seriously, He Yanji, there are too many mysteries about you that I can't understand. These things have always been intertwined in my heart. Do you think I'm in the mood to sit down and eat slowly with you? You have to know that if you don't plan to be completely honest with me, then no matter what we do, my mind will only be filled with the pain of your disappearance. We are separated by hearts. Other than being careful and sensitive, there is nothing else. I'm already past the age where a little girl needs to be coaxed, boss He. You should think about it carefully first. He Yanji pursed his lips. His expression was a little complicated, mixed with a trace of sadness. He didn't know that Little Chi had matured to this extent. We have to eat first, right? If it's this, I'd rather eat a bowl of noodles on the street. After saying that, Little Chi turned around and left. He Yanji smiled helplessly and followed closely behind. Chapter 1101. Little Chi's footsteps were very fast. She didn't stop no matter how much she was shouted at. He Yanji immediately became domineering. He directly went forward and hugged her by the waist. Then he used his fastest speed to return to the hotel room. Little Chi struggled in his arms, but He Yanji threw her on the bed. Don't move. Let go of me. The two of them spoke at the same time, their noses touching. Even when they had slept in the same bed 2 nights ago, the two of them had never been so close. I'm not telling you not because I don't want to. I just don't know where to start. Also, I just want to use my actions to tell you what I really think. Little one, isn't it more reliable to do it than to say it? In such an ambiguous position, he was still talking about doing it or not. Little Chi immediately let her imagination run wild. Get out of the way first. Yenji admired Little Chi's feminine side and suddenly smiled. Are you shy? How can you not blush when you're being pressed down like this? I shouldn't be if I'm being pressed down by you. Yenji moved his body away from her. However, halfway through, he used his hand to hold Little Chi's softness. You're developing well. Yenji. Little Chi instantly exploded. This time Yenji laughed out loud. Then he sat on the bed and pulled Little Chi into his arms. You'll be mine sooner or later. Why are you so angry? Little Chi leaned against that hard chest and couldn't break free no matter how hard she tried. She had clearly trained in combat skills over the years, but she didn't have much of an advantage over Yenji. I'll slowly tell you what happened after I left Jianchuan because it's too long and too torturous. However, for the past 5 years, I've thought of a way to visit you at the school gate every 3 months, but you've never seen me. Little Chi immediately deflated and hugged Yenji instead. What if I like someone else? Quietly, solve it, Yenji answered directly, but there was a hint of sharpness in his words. I've changed my mind. Little Chi reiterated the main point of her question. Then I'll lock you up. No matter how many years it takes, I want you to fall in love with me again. After Yenji said that, he stroked Little Chi's head a few times. Alright, aren't you hungry? I ordered 2 bowls of noodles. I'm going to clean up and change my clothes. You said my parents are back? Little Chi suddenly asked as she watched Yenji get up. Yes. Yenji took off his windbreaker and nodded. How did you convince my dad to be so biased towards you? Could it be that he favors men over women? Little Chi was puzzled. Didn't other fathers-in-law make things difficult for their son-in-law? Don't doubt your father's concern for you. That's because he knows very well that I'm the only one you really want. Yenji smiled confidently at Little Chi. Then when will you officially visit my family? Little Chi got out of bed and followed behind Yenji. I want to ask you first. Does your family mind being a gangster? Little Chi, if your family mind, what do you plan to do? Yenji looked at Little Chi with interest and asked. Whether they agree or not, I'll definitely follow a fierce big boss like you. My family has all kinds of jobs, but there's no gangster gang. Yenji, Little Chi knew that she had won the round and smiled sweetly. However, it was her smile that Yenji suddenly held her cheek and kissed her fiercely. I'll let you be proud. Chapter 1102. Little Chi's face and ears were flushed from the kiss. She finally pushed the culprit a few steps away. Don't kiss me after smoking. Yenji grabbed her arm and pulled her closer to him. He looked at her intently. Do you know how dangerous you are now? Yenji. Without my parents' consent, don't even think about having any physical relationship with you. After Yenji heard this, he turned his head and shook his shoulders. He laughed in a low voice. Xiaowan, so I didn't know that you had already thought so far ahead? Little Chi was speechless. Yenji saw that she was speechless, so he sat on the sofa and pulled Little Chi onto his legs. But you owe me a lot of kisses. According to what you said, you can kiss once a day from the age of 16. Think about it yourself, how many times do you owe me? Little Chi leaned against Yenji's chest and smelled the smell of the cigar on his body. She was a little unconvinced. That's what you missed. It has nothing to do with me. I didn't smoke. I was just talking to Brother Yang in the afternoon. He stuffed a cigar into my mouth but I didn't light it. I didn't expect you to be so sensitive to the smell, Yenji explained calmly as he hugged her. Little Chi's heart was pounding. This was because their posture was too ambiguous. However, even though she knew that this couldn't go on, she still couldn't bear to leave Yenji's arms. She didn't know if it was because of their tacit understanding, but the atmosphere between the two of them became more and more ambiguous. Especially when their gazes met, their lips unknowingly pressed together again. This time it was gentle and lingering. It was long and soft, allowing Little Chi to experience what a real kiss was. The two of them sucked up all the oxygen in each other's chests. When Little Chi couldn't breathe, Yenji reluctantly let her go. I can't continue, huh? I'm afraid I can't help it. Little Chi placed her head on Yenji's shoulder, and the two of them hugged each other calmly and warmly. How many years had it been? Today the scene that she had dreamed of could finally be realized in reality. Little Chi couldn't wait to walk into He Yanji's life and soul. This time she wouldn't allow him to escape again. And the best way to tie He Yanji up was responsibility. The two of them cuddled in the room for a long time, but this beautiful scene was quickly broken by Jichu's knocking on the door. Brother He, something happened. He Yanji and Midnight looked at the door at the same time. Then Little Chi got up from He Yanji's lap. Go. He Yanji got up from the sofa and caressed Little Chi's head. Wash up and sleep first. I'll be back later. Will he come back? Little Chi asked carefully. Of course. He Yanji's expression was firm. This time I won't leave your side even if I die. Little Chi nodded and pointed at the door with her chin. Go. He Yanji picked up his coat again and quickly walked out the door. Little Chi watched the two of them disappear and could only adapt to the sudden silence in the room as soon as possible. How could she miss a certain someone after being apart for only a second? Little Chi sat down on the sofa. However, before she could think about anything else, Master Xiao called. Little Chi suddenly felt embarrassed as if she had been caught in the act. She had clearly agreed to go home at night. However, she still picked up the phone and said in a coquettish tone, "Dad." Chapter 1103. What? Do you still see me as your father? Master Zhao's tone was unclear. It was obvious that he was quite dissatisfied with He Yanji not sending Little Chi home. I'll be back later. I'll be back tonight. Little Chi scratched her head and her rationality began to return. What time? 10 o'clock? 12 o'clock? Or 5 o'clock in the morning? Master Zhao's tone rose slightly. It's not like that, Dad. He Yanji went out to do something. I'm staying in the hotel alone. I just want him to see me when he comes back. Now that he's alone, I don't want him to lose his sense of security, Little Chi answered sincerely. If you don't believe me, you can send Uncle Su over to watch me. Your Uncle Su also has his own things to do. Master Zhao's tone softened. In terms of feelings, Little Chi had combined his and Mu Chichi's temperament. Master Xiao could understand this. Dad, before 2 o'clock. I'll leave the lights on for you. This was already Master Zhao's biggest concession. After all, he knew that He Yanji had lost his grandmother. Got it, Dad. You're the best. After obtaining Master Zhao's understanding, Little Chi was relieved. She did not know what He Yanji was doing at the moment. Was he really fighting on the streets like in the movies? At that moment, He Yanji was rushing to the dock of Jianchuan. We captured Brother Nan's right-hand man and forced him to the dock. However, Brother Nan asked to see you. Otherwise, he would detonate the homemade bomb on his body to lure the police out. He came prepared. So, as long as he sees me, he'll be willing to surrender? He Yanji's gaze was cold and even a trace of impatience. Where is he now? On the broken boat. He Yanji got out of the car and straightened his windbreaker. His expression was dignified and sharp, and he had the air of a big shot. Brother He, his subordinates bowed and made way for this ruthless character. Unlike in front of Little Chi, He Yanji had quite a bit of prestige in the underworld. He never took people's lives, but he would definitely make them suffer a fate worse than death. Everyone knew that the person who had offended him had been chased by him for a year or two. In the end, because he couldn't stand He Yanji's revenge, he went to the police station and surrendered himself, admitting that he had killed someone back then. Brother he's on the boat, but it's very dangerous. He Yanji waved his hand and motioned for everyone to leave. We've known each other for a while. Since he wants to see me, I'll let him see me. But his subordinates were worried about his safety. Jichu hurriedly stopped his little brother. This kind of matter, Brother He naturally knew what to do. He Yanji was wearing shiny brown leather shoes. Unlike the slovenly image of the other big shots who were nouveau riche, he would clean himself up every day. He was meticulous, and his taste in clothes was completely like an English gentleman. He Yanji walked onto the broken ship and saw Brother Nan sitting in the cabin. His eyes were filled with fear. Don't come over or I'll light it up. Brother Nan held a lighter and revealed the explosives tied to his waist to threaten He Yanji. He Yanji did not go any further. He just squatted on the deck and looked at Brother Nan. Do you know what happened to the people who asked to see me in the past few years? Brother Nan's throat rolled and he was sweating profusely. Yanji, back then I was kind to you. Why did you repay my kindness with enmity? A favor? Yanji snorted. Chapter 1104. What a huge favor. You killed 2 of my family members in a row. You can't blame this on me. I didn't know that I would be betrayed, Brother Nan quickly explained. I didn't know anything about what happened back then. I didn't know that the other party would take such extreme revenge on you. Your subordinates have already told me everything. Yinji smiled coldly. The other party asked for peace and gave you 10 territories, but you sold me out. Isn't that the case? Brother Nan's face turned pale, and his hands began to tremble. Can't you let me go? Let you go? Yinji seemed to have lost his patience and stood up. You really disappoint me. I thought that since you betrayed Brother Yang and wanted to set up your own business, you wouldn't be so weak. I didn't expect you to be so easily frightened. All right, I've seen your ugly face. If you want to light a fire, then light it. Or should I ask my subordinates to help you? Anyway, this is the dock and it's a broken boat. Even if it catches fire, no one will think that there are people on it. After saying that, Yinji turned around and jumped onto the shore. Yinji, what I am today will be your tomorrow in the future. This was Brother Nan's last advice to Yinji. I'll never be able to be like you. After saying that, Yinji walked up to his subordinates and instructed, Old rules. Don't kill anyone. Punish them as you should. From then on, Auntie Hong and the old lady's grudge could be considered to have been avenged. As for his future path, he knew what kind of choice he was making. He would not go wrong nor would he go astray. Brother you've worked hard. Go back and rest. Count the number of territories in this bastard's hands and show them to Brother Yang. Before Yinji got into the car, he instructed Ji Chu, I don't like these things. It's useless to keep them. Got it? Ji Chu nodded. Soon, the originally calm sea erupted into flames. Yinji glanced at it indifferently. He had absolute trust in his subordinates. When he returned to the hotel, it was almost 10 o'clock at night. Yinji looked at his wristwatch and frowned slightly. He didn't know if the little girl was asleep. Thinking of this, Yinji was eager to return. The moment he opened the door, he was even a little surprised because the lights in the room were still on. She was waiting for him. You're back? Little Chi got up from the sofa. Yeah, why aren't you sleeping yet? Yinji took off his coat and hung it at the side. Moreover, looking at Little Chi's appearance, she hadn't washed up yet. My dad called and asked me to go home. Since you're back safely now, send me home. Little Chi raised the phone in her hand and said. Yinji was stunned for a moment. He suddenly understood Little Chi's intention. She always waited for him to come back before leaving because she didn't want him to feel lonely in the room. Little Chi. She. Little. Little. He. Yang. Little Chi hugged him back and thought for a few seconds. Then she asked, why don't we say that you're injured and I want to take care of you? Then do I have to hang my arm up tomorrow? Yinji was finally amused and let go of Little Chi. Now is not the time. Wait for me, to come back and let you stay by my side for the night. Chapter 11:05. At 11 o'clock at night, Little Chi stepped into the house. However, she closed the door carefully, looking a little guilty. Sheng Xiao was serving Mu Chichi, who had gone to the police station after returning to China. The couple sat at the dining table and turned to look at their daughter with a meaningful look in their eyes. You still know to come back. Sheng Xiao snorted faintly. Then he looked at his pocket watch and realized that it was still early, so he didn't say anything else. Mu Chichi didn't reprimand Little Chi. She just smiled as she ate. You're like me back then. If you weren't like you back then, I would have thrown you out long ago. Little Chi was speechless. Why don't you try? Mu Chichi frowned and contradicted Sheng Xiao. Do you think it's easy for you to get a daughter when you're old? Little Chi secretly laughed and then quietly went back to her room. It was useless to be envious because it was her parents' love, and her bond was in the hotel at the moment. She didn't know when she would be able to stay by Yinji's side. The next day Little Chi woke up to go to school. Unexpectedly, Tang Xiaobao came to the banyan courtyard to see her. You have to go to school too, right? Why are you at my house so early in the morning? Little Chi couldn't help but ask when she saw his serious expression. Let's talk on the way. Tang Xiaobao stuffed the milk into Little Chi's arms and directly dragged her out. Tang Xiaobao, I know Yinji is back. Tang Xiaobao paused and suddenly said, I also know that he's in the underworld now. Girl, you know that I hate criminals the most in my life. Do you still want to be involved with him? Little Chi stopped in her tracks and suddenly couldn't say anything. 5 years ago this bastard hurt you once. Do you still want to bump into him now? Tang Xiaobao looked little Qi in the eyes and asked. He had also become handsome. He had inherited his father's style. He was tough, sunny, and full of righteousness. He was really popular with girls. Xiaobao, although I don't know what to say, he Yinji and I are different from what you think. He's not the kind of person you think he is, little Qi explained calmly. Little Qi explained calmly, I know that Uncle Tang is the chief of the police station. You've been influenced by him since you were young, so it's impossible for you to take him seriously. However, he's the person I like. As long as I believe that he didn't do anything wrong, I don't care who he is. After hearing little Qi's words, Tang Xiaobao let go of her right hand because he suddenly felt that the little girl in front of him was so unfamiliar. He didn't know when it started, but the two of them had a conflict in their worldview. Tang Xiaobao would never be with a gang member, but little Qi told him that she didn't care at all. Where is Uncle Xiao? Doesn't he care? My father naturally wants me to be happy. Crazy, are you all crazy? Tang Xiaobao suddenly became agitated. What are you all thinking? What was Uncle Xiao thinking? Is he trying to push you into the fire pit? When little Qi saw Tang Xiaobao's expression, she wanted to try to make him understand. However, when the words were on the tip of her tongue, she felt that it was unnecessary because everyone had their own position. Tang Xiaobao's heart was very conflicted and uncomfortable because he didn't know how to face his sister walking on the crooked path. Therefore, he held little Qi's shoulder and persuaded her earnestly, Little Qi, I really don't want to see you jump into the fire pit. Don't fall for it anymore, okay? We can still find a better one. Chapter 1106. It seems that you haven't had enough of that fight back then. A male voice suddenly came from behind the two of them. Little Qi turned around and saw He Yanji pulling her to his side, his entire body full of possessiveness. Didn't you disappear 5 years ago? Why are you still pestering my sister? When Tang Xiaobao saw He Yanji, his eyes were spitting fire and he was furious. Don't you know that you're a hooligan? Do you still want to jump over the dragon gate? Get in the car first. He Yanji didn't want to make things difficult for little Qi, so he pushed little Qi to Ji Chu. Although little Qi was worried, it was indeed not appropriate for her to stay for long because it would only add fuel to the fire. Therefore she followed Ji Chu into the car. Outside the car, the atmosphere between the two men seemed to be at loggerheads. Let's find another time to fight. You like it anyway. He Yanji handed the contact information to Tang Xiaobao. Okay, I'll wait for you. Tang Xiaobao accepted He Yanji's letter of challenge and turned to look at little Qi before turning to leave. He Yanji smiled faintly. He didn't take Tang Xiaobao's anger to heart because he knew very well that this man surnamed Tang only wanted to protect Lil Wan. Then, He Yanji returned to the car and handed another breakfast to little Qi. I'll send you to school. Don't tell me the two of you are going to fight again? Little Qi reached out to take the breakfast and felt a headache. Women shouldn't ask about the private matters between men. He Yanji didn't intend to answer this question and let Ji Chu set off because he still had a few important matters to deal with. Little Qi looked at the two breakfasts in her arms and shook her head. Forget it. Anyway, this person knew his limits, so she didn't need to worry about it. However, there were some things that she still needed to express. You also know that the Tang family has been police officers for generations. The most difficult thing to hide is their righteousness. Tang Xiaobao is also worried about me. If you really have any conflict, don't go too far, okay? Aren't you worried that the one being beaten up will be me? He Yanji opened the milk for little Qi and inserted the straw. I'm not worried. In my heart, you're the winner. Little Qi answered matter-of-factly. He Yanji felt very comfortable, so he put his arm around her shoulder and pulled her into his arms. By the way, other than your parents, who else do you want to get approval from? Little Qi squinted slightly and asked He Yanji, anyone? I will try my best to satisfy you. You're just a gangster. What are you talking about? It's not that important. It's fine as long as I like you, little Qi answered He Yanji straightforwardly and domineeringly. He Yanji chuckled and stroked little Qi's hair. This little girl's boyfriend was too easy to be. Soon the two of them arrived at the school gate. However, before little Qi could get out of the car, He Yanji reached out and grabbed her. After school in the afternoon, don't run around. I'll pick you up. Word. Go back to the hotel and do your homework, He Yanji said with a hidden meaning. Little Qi glanced at him and snorted. But for some reason she actually looked forward to that moment. Because she wanted to kiss He Yanji in all kinds of positions in all kinds of places. Just thinking about that scene would make one blush. Don't go astray. It's just limited to kissing. She was an obedient, decent girl. Chapter 1107. On the other side, after Tang Xiaobao returned to school, he couldn't really trust little Qi. Especially when he looked at He Yanji's business card. What kind of future could he have with such a gang member? Therefore after class Tang Xiaobao called his father. Dad, there's something I want to ask of you. Tang Yen was now the chief of the bureau, so he was naturally strict with his son. In his impression, Tang Xiaobao had never asked for his father's help, so he couldn't find a reason to refuse. Go ahead. Can you do a good investigation on He Yanji? He's a gangster, but he has a close relationship with little Qi. I don't want little Qi to regret it after being hurt. If this person has committed a crime, you must tell me immediately. He Yanji? Hearing these 3 words, Tang Yen was interested. He doesn't have a criminal record, but he has performed meritorious deeds. How is that possible? Tang Xiaobao scoffed on the other side of the phone. It's nothing. I'll keep an eye out. Tang Yen stopped the topic and comforted his son. Tang Xiaobao didn't notice anything else, so he simply hung up. However, on the other end of the phone, Tang Yan's eyes were deep and hidden. He Yanji was an interesting person. The younger generation would surpass the older. Speaking of little Qi, it was a critical moment for the college entrance examination. However, as the daughter of the richest man in Jianchuan, it seemed that little Qi didn't need to worry about the future. When Yanjun saw this, she was very envious. How good would it be if I were you? No matter how many points you score in the exam, your family has a gold mine. Speaking of which, do you really not have any job in particular that you want to do? I want to be a big shots woman, little Qi answered with a book in her hand. Screw you. You're already one now. I'm asking a serious question. Yanjun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She leaned on little Qi's arm. Think about it carefully. Otherwise, what's the point of living? After hearing Yanjun's words, little Qi thought about it seriously for a moment and then fell into deep thought. There are only 2 months left before the college entrance examination. It seems that it's too late. Little Qi thought about it carefully. Ever since she was born, she had never had any ambitions. She didn't have her mother's dedication, nor did she have her father's extreme intelligence. What was she living for? Little Qi thought about it all afternoon, but there was no answer until she saw He Yanji at the school gate. He Yanji opened the car door and saw that she was absent-minded, so he waited until she got in the car before asking, "What are you thinking about? You're so engrossed." "I'm going to take the college entrance examination soon, but I don't know what to do in the future." Little Qi replied in distress, "I seem to be very ordinary and can't do anything big." After He Yanji heard this, he understood. It turned out that his little girl was distressed because of this. "Lil Wan, actually, you are the cleverest and smartest girl I've ever met. Since you don't know what you like, then, let me set a goal for you. How about that? Didn't you regret leaving school?" Little Qi was afraid that He Yanji would be sensitive when she mentioned this question. Regret is the most useless thing. Why do you regret it? He Yanji answered without thinking. The smile on his lips was endless. Go to Xingting. Didn't your parents come from there? You really think highly of me? Little Qi couldn't help but laugh. I'll teach you. Don't forget, I once tutored you in your homework, He Yanji said solemnly. Chapter 1108. You? It wasn't that little Qi didn't believe him, but he hadn't been to school for 5 years. He was afraid that he had forgotten the contents of the textbook. He Yanji smiled mysteriously and didn't explain. He brought little Qi back to the hotel. Ji Chu, knock on the door again at dinner time, He Yanji instructed Ji Chu when he led little Qi into the room. Ji Chu nodded and winked at He Yanji. Brother He, don't worry. Just enjoy the two of you. Not only that, but Ji Chu also consciously closed the door for the two of them. After entering the room, He Yanji directly placed little Qi's school bag on the sofa. Then he pulled her to sit on his lap and put her arms around his neck. Did you miss me? Little Qi's heart immediately raced, and her face immediately flushed red. However, she didn't hide her feelings and replied, yes. He Yanji was very satisfied with her answer. He directly pinched her chin and kissed her gently. It was this kind of feeling, this kind of soft feeling, that made little Qi worry about it for the whole day. Unknowingly, the two of them had fallen in love, and the kiss became more and more intense. At this moment in the huge room, there was only the sound of the two of them sucking each other. After a long while, He Yanji finally let go of little Qi. I really want to eat you now. Little Chi hugged He tightly and was trying her best to calm down her distracting thoughts. However, after a while she felt that she had failed, so she whispered in He ear, "I want to eat you too." He was stunned. He coughed lightly and quickly said to Little Chi, "Do your homework. You have the heart but you don't have the guts." Little Chi got up from his body and couldn't help but mutter. He was a little helpless. "It's precisely because it's you that I don't want to be casual." Little Chi knew that he was doing this for the future, so she picked up her school bag and sat down by the coffee table. "Come here. Aren't you going to teach?" He stood up and sat down behind Little Chi. He wrapped his arms around her. "Are you still partial to subjects now?" "I'm not partial anymore. In the few years that you were gone, I wrote love letters to many boys, so I practiced it." Little Chi snorted. "That's really a good idea. Are you sure it's a few boys? Why didn't you write it in your diary?" He saw through her at a glance. Little Chi turned her head and looked at the man behind her. She was a little awkward. "Why did you have to expose me?" He laughed silently and kissed the back of Little Chi's head. "It seems like we've returned to that time." Little Chi thought he was joking, so she really handed the math problem that she didn't understand to He. "Can you solve it?" He took the textbook and glanced at it. Then he picked up the pen and pressed it against Little Chi's face. "Watch carefully. I'll only solve it once." Little Chi saw him take out the draft paper to calculate and was shocked. Could it be that this person was really a genius? A moment later, the solution appeared on the draft paper, and the answer was on the verge of appearing. "You're a gangster, how do you know how to do mathematics?" "What? Can a hooligan not be cultured?" He smiled as he held her hand and returned the pen to her. "Even if it's for you, I will never let myself fall." Little Chi's heart trembled. "I can't let the gap between me and you be too big." He words sounded casual, but no one knew what kind of hard work he had put in behind the scenes. Little Chi couldn't help but lean into He arms. She was full of skills when it came to romantic words. "It's okay, I don't mind. Anyway, in the future I'll follow you." Chapter 1109. Big Boss. He rubbed Little Chi's head, his eyes full of smiles. "Don't worry, I won't let you lose the bet." Next, it was really homework tutoring. Little Chi looked at He with a hint of admiration in her eyes. "What you say is easier to understand than what the teacher says." "You're comparing me to the old witch?" He pinched Little Chi's face. "What she says is aimed at the whole class. What I say is only aimed at you. Of course it's different." In the past, she had never thought that studying was such an interesting thing. However, in the few years that He was not around, her exam results depended on her mood. But most of the time she stayed in the top 3. Now that she had Mr. He by her side to tutor her, not only was it exclusive, but she could also kiss, hug, and take advantage of him. For the past 2 months, she had to have He tutor her every day. However, good times always passed quickly. Because it was time for dinner, Little Chi stayed at the hotel. After accompanying He for dinner, he sent her back to the Banyan courtyard. However, this time there was something special. This was because after Little Chi got out of the car, she took the initiative to hug Boss He and tiptoed to kiss him on the cheek. This should have been a very ordinary scene, but it was seen by Mama Sheng, who had just returned home. 1-1. Mama Sheng got out of the black car and called out to Little Chi uncertainly. Little Chi turned around and saw her grandmother. She immediately stiffened and could not help but feel a little guilty. "Grandma." Mama Sheng walked up to the two of them and looked at He, who was behind Little Chi. "This is?" "Hello, Grandma. I'm Xiaowan's boyfriend, He." He politely reached out his hand and bowed slightly to show his respect. Just like when he was bumped into by Master Xiao, He was calm and did not hide. "Boyfriend?" Mama Sheng's expression was a little unclear because she had never thought that Little Chi, who was only 17 years old, would be like her mother back then. "Since we've met, let's go home and have a seat." Mama Sheng directly invited He because she also wanted to know if her son and daughter-in-law knew about this. After Little Chi heard this, her heart pounded. She turned to look at He, but he looked calm. "Then I'll have to trouble you." Hearing these words, Mama Sheng's expression softened a little because she knew that this boy was at least not a coward. "Grandma." Little Chi panicked and said to Mama Sheng, "It's too late today. Can't we do it another day?" "She didn't object and you're already protecting her?" Mama Sheng snorted softly. Then she beckoned the two of them. "Get in my car." Little Chi was helpless. She turned to look at He. He of Little Chi. He smiled lovingly. From the beginning to the Sheng he of cheat tea. After getting into the car, Mama Sheng looked at the boy in the back seat again. To be honest, she did not believe that her son did not know about this person. But what was his plan? However, S of T B li chi T, T T T T T T T of chin T T T T T. Don't worry. Watch me. Don't worry, okay? He Yenji squeezed little Chi's palm to comfort her. Don't worry. Just watch me. Don't worry, okay? He Yenji pinched little Chi's palm to comfort her. Chapter 11:10. Soon they entered the house. He Yenji took a deep breath. It was impossible for him not to be nervous. After all, the Sheng family was not an ordinary family. However, since it was his first time visiting, he could not panic and disappoint Lil Wan's family. Therefore, even if he had to brace himself, he had to suppress the panic in his heart. Please come in. At that moment, Xing Xiao was at home. After taking a shower, he was dressed in home clothes that wrapped around his muscular body. It was impossible to tell his age at all. He saw that Xing Xiao was in the living room on a video call. When he realized that Mama Sheng had let someone in, he was interested and told Su Che to postpone the video call. Dad. Little Chi held He Yenji's hand and walked nervously to Xing Xiao. She called out timidly. Uncle. He Yenji was extremely calm and respectful towards Xing Xiao. Mama Sheng stood at the side and carefully observed He Yenji. This was because when ordinary people saw their son, especially when Xing Xiao was unsmiling, his expression was not angry, but it gave people a strong sense of oppression. Ordinary people would naturally be afraid and retreat when they saw him. However, this kid in front of her did not show any signs of fear. What kind of background did he have? Have you eaten? Xing Xiao turned off the computer and asked the two of them. His tone was calm as if he was not surprised at all. Eat it. Little Chi quickly replied. He tutored me with my homework. As a thank you gift, I accompanied him for dinner. There's no need to be reserved in front of me. I won't ask you to do anything. Master Xiao looked like a reasonable and kind father. He could even be said to be gentle and easygoing. However, only He Yenji knew that there was still a second half hidden in Master Xiao's heart. That was, as long as he made a mistake, did not cherish the opportunity to be with little Chi, or let little Chi suffer any harm, Master Xiao would record it for him. Eighth brother, what's going on? Mama Sheng couldn't stand it anymore. She sat on the sofa and asked. It didn't look like they were meeting for the first time. You guys go up and play. Xing Xiao asked Miki to show He Yenji around. His intention was to send the two of them away so that they would not be embarrassed. Let's go to my room. Little Chi couldn't wait. After saying that, she held He Yenji's hand and hurried upstairs. Eighth brother, this child, is Wanwan's classmate? Where did he come from? How could you allow them to be together? Wanwan is only 17 years old. Mom, I tacitly agreed to this. I know what I'm doing, Xing Xiao answered Mama Sheng seriously. You don't believe in my judgment? So, you know He Yenji very well? Mama Sheng's expression softened a little. If I don't let your granddaughter worry about me for 5 years, she will do even more outrageous things in the future. Then what does his family do? Mama Sheng continued to ask, afraid that little Chi would lead the child astray. Xing Xiao did not hide anything and told Mama Sheng everything about He Yenji's family background. After Mama Sheng heard this, she both sympathized with He Yenji and felt that he was in danger. Are you really at ease to join the underworld at such a young age? Won't we know if we keep walking? Xing Xiao still had a carefree attitude because he knew very well that if little Chi didn't really like He Yenji, then the two of them would separate on their own before long. Life and feelings needed to be felt and experienced by the people involved. Bystanders, even parents, did not have the right to interfere. Back then, I thought that when Wanwan reached the age of dating, you would definitely strongly oppose and stop her. Once you found out that there was such a daring boy, you would definitely make him disappear from the face of the earth. Chapter 11:11. He Yenji naturally couldn't pretend that he didn't hear it. Therefore, he immediately replied with a troubled expression. Brother Long, don't make fun of me. You have so many capable subordinates under you. Why would you need someone like me who has no ambition and just eats and drinks? You don't know how to appreciate favors. Brother Long's subordinate immediately became angry. He looked at He Yenji aggressively and scolded, since our boss is looking for you, it means that he thinks highly of you. How dare you not know what's good for you? He looked at him with a smile. He was not angry at all. Please forgive me, Brother Long. It's fine, but don't jump to conclusions too early. Who knows, one day you might be willing to look for Brother Long. Brother Long took a deep puff of his cigar and pinched the woman beside him. I always believed that in this world the winner is king. I heard that you have a little girlfriend? Before I answer this question, let me ask you something first. Have you heard of Xing Xiao? Who doesn't know Xing Xiao? Brother Long answered matter-of-factly, as if He had asked an extremely ridiculous question. My girlfriend is Xing Xiao's daughter. If she offends you in the future, I hope you can forgive her. He gave Brother Long a warning in advance. He wasn't trying to show off, but to remind him that some people could be touched and some people couldn't. After Brother Long heard this, there was an obvious change in his expression. He had indeed wanted to start with He girlfriend at the beginning, but it seemed that it wouldn't work now. Not only that, but it had become even more complicated for him to rope He in. Brother Long, this kid dares to look down on you because he's bold? Brother Long's subordinate was a little unconvinced. What kind of amazing person was he? Why couldn't he touch him? At that moment, the voice of Brother Long's subordinate came from outside the private room. Brother Long, Brother Yang is here. So fast? Brother Long looked at He with interest. It seems that I really can't underestimate your loyalty. He couldn't deny it. Soon the familiar laughter reached their ears. Then the door of the private room was pushed open. He turned around and saw his boss. He quickly stood up to welcome him. Brother Yang. If I had come a little later, would my left arm have been chopped off by someone? Brother Yang waved his hand and sat down next to He. Long Xiao, it's not nice of you to do this, right? Old Westerner, your man is indeed extraordinary. I asked him to help me, but he rejected me. Brother Dragon laughed. I'm so jealous of you. You don't have to be envious. This is my brother who has gone through life and death with me. Naturally he can't be with you. Today I will make it clear. Don't have any ideas about Yenji. I will fight you to the death. The two of them made their attitudes clear in their jokes. For a moment the atmosphere in the private room was surging. Then it was Brother Dragon who nodded and admitted defeat. Alright, I'll remember what you said. That person. I'll take him with me. I really hope you can always trust him like this. Before the two of them left, Brother Long wanted to plant a bomb between them. However, the two of them did not respond. Brother Yang, I trust you. Brother Yang patted He on the shoulder. I trust you more than you think. Go back and rest. Chapter 11-12. After He sent Brother Yang away, he got into his car. Inside the car, Ji-Chu was already ready to go out. Brother this Brother Long isn't as scary as I imagined? He glanced at Ji-Chu from the rearview mirror and said, Do you believe it? Tonight you're their target. What? Because I've made it clear that your sister-in-law is the daughter of the Sheng family. That Long guy won't dare to do anything to your sister-in-law, and you're the only one left by my side. How safe do you think you'll be? He explained to Ji-Chu very seriously. Sleep in my room tonight. Is it really necessary? You can install a camera in your room to see. He answered him with a serious expression. All these years, Jianchuan has been suppressed by Zhongting, so all the gangs didn't dare to go overboard. Over time they retreated from the banditry that gangs should have. Even Brother Yang rarely got involved in things that risked his life. But this Brother Long is different. This Brother Long has killed people before. Hearing the word people, Ji-Chu was stunned for a moment. He obviously understood the seriousness of the matter. However, the two of them did not expect that when they rushed back to the hotel, He would find that their room had been carefully decorated. The room was lit with incense and candles, and there were roses everywhere on the table and bed. There was also an exquisite cake on the coffee table. Brother This? While the two of them were surprised, little Chi walked out of the bedroom wearing He shirt. He face turned green, and Ji-Chu immediately turned his head. This was his sister-in-law. He didn't dare to blaspheme her. Seeing this, He quickly pushed little Chi back into the bedroom. Why are you here? I just wanted to give you a surprise. It seems like you were frightened, right? Little Chi quickly wrapped her clothes around herself. He couldn't help but hold little Chi in his arms. He could have enjoyed the two of them tonight, but now he had to ensure Ji-Chu's safety. So, before little Chi took off her shirt, he covered Little Chi's head and kissed her on the head. I'm sorry, Xiaowan. I might not be able to have a romantic night tonight because I have to bring a third wheel. What's going on? Little Chi took off the shirt and asked. Jichu might be in danger, so I let him sleep in the guest room. That's easy. Just chase him back to his room, Little Chi said bluntly. Tonight? Alright, I got it. You're not in the mood for romance. Little Chi could tell from his eyes that since Jichu was in danger, he naturally wouldn't stand by and do nothing. You sleep first. I'll be in the living room, okay? Hienji held Little Chi's face and kissed her. Will you go back to your room? It depends. I'll guard you guys. After Hienji said that, he patted Little Chi's face again, turned around and walked out of the bedroom. Jichu was outside the door. When he saw everything that Little Chi had set up, he felt guilty and said to Hienji, Brother He, why don't I go back to my room? Sister-in-law spent a lot of effort to decorate it, it's not good to ruin it. Hienji took off his coat and placed it on the sand. He only instructed Jichu, go in and sleep. You have no right to ask about anything else. Alright? Jichu felt as if he had destroyed Hienji's wedding night. He felt very guilty. However, he didn't dare to disobey Hienji's orders, so he could only enter the guest room with a guilty conscience. When Hienji saw this, he went out alone and went to the next room to make some arrangements. Then he returned to the living room and lay down on the sand. He also wanted to have a woman in his arms, but he also had to protect his own people. This was a man's responsibility. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.